Yo, what's happening, guys? Welcome back to Chaos Theory. This is episode 2. We're going to keep things going here. Hopefully you guys enjoy this content that we're pumping out. I did get some really good feedback from you guys regarding episode 1. I didn't know if it was going to take off or not. A big thank you to the community on Facebook, on Discord, on YouTube, Twitter, everybody who's supporting this brand. I appreciate you guys. We appreciate you. We're going to try to keep it going, okay?
Thank you for everybody and their support as well. We have a very special guest today, but I'll let Ken go ahead and introduce.
Yes, sir. And like I said, we're back. Your host, Ken Khaos Villalobos. I have my buddy over here, Ivan Kinetic, over here taking things over.
Yes, sir.
Today we're going to kick things off with my good friend, my brother in arms, Raymond, Spartan, Bedolla. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. How's everyone doing?
Oh, we're doing good, bro. We're excited, man. We're excited to have you here, man.
Thank you. It's an honor, man.
Yep. For those of you that aren't familiar with Ray, and it should only be like maybe one or two of you guys, Ray is one of the premier Marvel vs. Capcom 2 players that have ever laid hands on a stick. He's destroyed countless people over the years. And in my opinion, in my humble opinion, he's one of the best to ever do it. So he's on here today to kind of tell his story, his origins. And you guys need to buckle up, okay? Grab a fucking Red Bull.
Yes,
okay?
sir.
Do whatever you got to do. Kick off the shoes, put up your feet, and just get ready. Because Ray's going to take you for a ride.
Oh, God.
All right, man. So, if I'm not mistaken, bro, your career kicks off as early as, what, 2003, 2004?
2004 is the timeline where like I got into it competitively. Like I saw it and I was like, "Whoa, this is something I really want to do."
Well, let's kick it off, man. Tell us how you got started.
Well, the very first time I ever saw this game. So I'm gonna give you guys a little backstory of myself when growing up, because even as a kid, like 5, 6 years old, like Street Fighter was a main game in my household between my uncles and my dad and stuff like that. So I used to watch them all the time.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Like my uncle used to go to Golfland, the original Golfland. He probably knows like Mike Watson and them, to be honest. And anyways, so I've always grown up on Street Fighter and stuff like that. Now I moved from California to the East Coast. I actually lived in Connecticut for a bit, and that was the first time I ever saw the game, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Blew my mind. Saw all the characters, and of course the top tiers, which was Ryu, Ken, and Akuma, right? That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Everybody, Hayato was like
I'm in there throwing the
character.
Dugans and stuff. I'm like, yo, what? And I'm like 11 years old. I don't know what I'm doing. That was the first time I saw it. It was at Mohegan Sun. Sun. It was an arcade. It was like a casino and all that stuff. So it was like a family-oriented type place and whatnot. And then like I said, I grew up on Street Fighter. I even had Marvel Superheroes as a kid on PlayStation. I love that game too. And I remember like a vivid moment when I was a kid, and I was looking at Marvel Superheroes, and I was playing the computer, and I was like, there's gotta be people who compete at this stuff, right? Like, right? And I'm in the middle of the woods. I lived in a small town called Colchester. Like, my street had one street light, and that street went on for miles.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, the population was really, really small. Everybody knew each other. But anyways, ended up moving from Connecticut to California in 2003.
Nice.
2003, and then I moved to Riverside. So
Oh, you're in the IE.
Yeah, I was in the IE.
Okay.
Right, and so it's 2003.
So at this point, you're messing with the game. You had messed with it, what, in the arcade or at home?
I just messed it up with it at the arcade in Mohegan Sun.
Okay.
First time I saw it. Second time I saw it, it's 2003. I'm living in Riverside, and my family and I used to go to Orange County all the time because my grandma and all that stuff lived out there, right?
Okay.
So me and my cousins would get together, and then we'd go to the block, go see movies, and then that's where I saw Marvel vs. Capcom 2 again for the second time, which was at the block. And I was like, oh yeah, right, you can Akuma, let's do it again. And these dudes there were doing the ROM and all kinds of stuff, and I'm like, what? I didn't even get to play.
They're breaking the game
I
right
didn't
in
even
front
get
of
to
you.
play. I was like, man, and the game was $1. The game was $1, dude.
Yeah. And
Think about that.
In context, guys, back then, I mean, the minimum wage was around like $6.50 or so.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
And this was like one of the most expensive. Like,
it was just, oh god, it was ridiculous.
Yeah,
$1.
Orange County, man, everything's pricey over there.
Oh, yeah,
even back then.
Yep.
Yep.
Orange County for life, though. But anyways, so I'm playing it just kind of casually, right? I've got it on the PS2 now, and I'm like, this is the perfect thing to start practicing on.
best port.
You know, I'm like, I could play this game and whatnot, and no, yeah, best port for sure. So let's fast forward a little bit. because in 2003 I definitely had like a very, very hard time because I fell into like a depression. I know it's kind of hard to believe because I was such a young kid and whatever, but at the time, kind of moved back and let's see, we moved to Connecticut and then we moved back. We moved back because of financial reasons and stuff like that. Because at the time, my sister was she was very, very ill. She was diagnosed with a glioblastoma and she passed away in 2003, and that's what kind of drove me down. Drove me down to my depression, and we moved a lot as a kid. And honestly, at that point, with the depression and moving around over and over again, I got tired of making new friends. I got tired of paying attention in school. And I just remember it was probably like a week or two after my sister passed. We ended up going to the pro swap meet because my uncle started becoming a vendor there.
I forgot about that place, pro swap meet.
Yeah, that's where things turned to something good, to where I'm at now. Because in 2000, it was like around that time, right?
Like I said, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Like, it's...
I mean, it is what it is, you know. But it was a tough thing to go through.
Of course,
she's in a better place now. You know, no more pain, which is good. So now I'm at the pro swap meet about a couple weeks after she passes, and you know.
Oh man, this is fresh.
Yeah.
Or like right after, a couple of weeks after.
Yeah, just because I mean, you know, my parents are trying to do their best to, you know, keep the glue together.
Yeah.
All of my siblings, we were always close, but then once our sister passed, like it definitely bonded us even closer than ever.
Yeah.
You know. So we're at the swap meet, and at the time, I was very, very heavy into DDR. Very heavy into DDR. Like I thought it was so fascinating to step on arrows. Like I thought I was actually dancing. It was really corny, but I was into that, and then I was into Yu-Gi-Oh. And the swap meet, had both. Yeah, I know these maths. It's actually very nice. I saw this when it came in. And the swap meet had both DDR and Yu-Gi-Oh. And I was like, yo, what? This is sick. A swap meet with games? So my uncle's there selling. And then around the corner from the DDR machine, I see a bunch of showcase cabinets, Marvel 2. And that's the very first time I saw an Infinite. Like a good Infinite, which I thought was a good Infinite, which was I ran to Dark Prince.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Dark Prince. Dark Prince, I saw him do the Iron Man Infinite, and I was like, yo, what are you doing? He's like, I'm just pressing these 3 buttons. And I'm like, what? I don't get it. Like, I couldn't fathom it. I was like, I don't understand. So he kind of like showed me like some setups. My brain's not taking this in, obviously, because I don't know what I'm doing or talking about.
Right.
And he actually introduced me into SRK and all that stuff.
Oh, okay.
So... And then he told me, and I told him I have the PS2 version, and he's all like, no, you need to get a Dreamcast version if you want to play. Like, that's the better version. And so, luckily, I was at the swap meet. I picked up a DC.
Oh, there was a DC there.
There was a DC there, so I'm practicing on pad and stuff like that, which I still can play on pad.
That's really impressive.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
I could never do it.
Dude, it's pretty chill.
Like, if I was playing on pad, I would only be playing low tiers. There was no way I could be playing any kind of heavy execution character.
Oh, for sure.
You just got to slide. You got to slide the little buttons.
Yeah, it's not happening.
It's not, yeah.
So here I am. After that day, my mind is blown because I go home, look up SRK, and I'm like, yo, what? There's a whole community here. And that's when, like, the little vivid memory I had when I was, like, 11. And I was like, there's got to be, a group of people that compete or do something like this, right?
Right.
And behold, Dark Prince introduced me into something that I believed in when I was a kid, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, holy cow.
Okay.
So I started watching videos and looking stuff up.
This is what year?
This is like 2004.
2004, okay.
Mm-hmm. This is like early 2004.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I'm mind blown. I got the DC. I'm trying to practice like top tier characters, but my brain and my hands couldn't do it. I was just like, I don't get it. I'm reading like, because you know, like the threads when they would do like the combo threads, it'd be like, oh, do this combo. It was like CLK, CHP, SJ, Fierce, ADDF. And I'm like, yo, what is all this? I didn't know.
Yeah.
I had to like ask around, like, I don't know, like a lost puppy. Like, what does this mean? What's going on?
Dissect the lingo, basically.
Diagnose the memo and all that stuff.
Dude, not to mention you're probably dealing with like dial-up speeds or DSL.
Yeah. What was it like? What was that one? I can't remember. It wasn't AOL. What was the other one? There was one that was like dial-up. I can't remember.
It was Net Zero.
There you go. There you go.
You got the trial version.
No.
Net Zero.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so fast forward to okay. So wait, hang on before we move on.
Yeah.
So, what teams are you using at this point? Are you still?
I was trying to figure out
Are you
like.
still Team Shoto?
No, Team Shoto's gone.
course.
Out the window.
Once you saw Iron Man.
I learned what low tiers were at this time, and I was just trying to like pick the good stuff because that's what wins and all that stuff. I'm trying to pick a Magneto, Sentinel, but no, I'm just like normal jumping, doing dumb stuff, and I can't execute anything. I didn't understand the science of the game at that time in order to perform with those characters.
Right.
So I did what anybody else would do. I just started playing really cheesy. So at this point, I found my team. It's Blackheart, Cable, Sun.
Okay, so for those that are listening at home, Ray, if you wouldn't mind going over what playing cheesy means.
All right. Playing cheesy. Keep in mind, I can't execute with any of the good characters. So playing cheesy was, I learned the switch trick. I learned that sometimes Magneto players jump and all that stuff or do stand jab against big characters. So I starting the match with switch trick, down jab into down short and Sun at the same time.
Okay.
And then I'd super jump up forward, roundhouse, dash back, roundhouse. And then I'd start the infinite. Just, you know me and my sound effects. I always do that stuff. I swear to God, I don't know what it is. I got a habit with that.
Oh, my God.
I'm just doing animated. Spitting demons and whatnot, right? So I'm spitting demons. And I only did it until I had about 2 meters, 2.5 meters. Once you land, you do stand heavy kick. The demons grab whoever the point character is, and then you tag into Cable. When you tag into Cable, air hyper viper beam 2 times.
Yep.
One dead character, tag back into Blackheart, do it all over
right
again.
There.
Yep. Do it all over again. I was just rinse, wash, and repeat. Yep. I was able to get like the lower class players, like the peasants, like where I was at. You know what I mean?
It's funny because he's absolutely right. There's like tiers of level players, right?
Yeah.
As you go along.
It's kind of like low class, middle class, higher middle class, and you got your upper class.
This kind of stuff works.
You got your 1%, which is like,
Croc skin, buttercream, croc skin.
What size is the waist? Let's go in.
You know what? Just a quick. The way that I feel about that is you have a team like that, like Blackheart, Cable, Sun, which you nailed it right on the head. It'll only get you so far until you run into somebody who knows how to get around it.
Exactly.
So nowadays, when I see like on Discord people that are discussing teams, like I saw some dirtbag talking about Rogue, Sentinel, Cable, I think. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, and he's writing paragraphs about how viable it is during tournament play and stuff like that. And I'm just thinking, no, it's not. It might get
only
you
viable if Rogue dies and you got sent Cable to do a comeback.
I guess.
Or if you put her last with like some dumb assist.
Yeah, but that's just how it is. Your team will only get you so far before you have to adjust and substitute, I guess, a couple of characters in there.
Yeah.
So when did you realize that this team wasn't going to cut it?
Honestly, it didn't take me till like 2005.
Oh, shit.
I went with this team for probably like a whole year, maybe like a year and a half.
Okay.
Because I did end up getting some results. And I was like, okay, I don't care what SRK people are saying. Like, Blackheart's good. He beats Sentinel. He beats everybody. I don't care. I'll find a way. Nah, still didn't find a way. Doesn't work.
But it's funny how the game kind of evolves for each player that way. You end up finding out that this team, it runs its course.
Yes.
And it pushes you even further into the top tier meta per se.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
Yeah,
you
definitely.
know? And so it's an interesting learning experience because a lot of the players, they don't go through that and they end up finding out later like, oh, I really can't pick this. That's
why I really don't mind like if people when they get into it and they're really picking low tiers, I kind of encourage it because it kind of will humble you. Or if that's what you're going for, to go up to the higher level of gameplay,
right?
It'll definitely humble you. You'd be like, okay, this stuff ain't gonna work. It'll work maybe over here, but it ain't gonna work over here.
Yeah.
So this is 05. Okay.
Well, I got some events that happened in 2004.
Okay. Well, before we get to 05, then let's go over those events because I do have a couple questions for you regarding 05. But let's do 2004.
Okay, so let's finish up 2004. 2004, I'm still playing, and I'm getting ready for my first tournament, which was at Pro Swap Meet. And everybody was there. Everyone that was good that was there, and that's where I met. That's actually where I met Fat Toy and Joey Ball.
Okay.
Yeah, I met them there, and that was pretty cool.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah. And this is where I decided I have my first alias, And it is so bad, dude.
Here we go.
It is so bad. And you guys are going to have some questions after this. I already know.
So you're saying that you had a nickname before Spartan?
Yes. Spartan didn't come until 2007.
And mind you guys.
Oh, God. I can't wait to hear this.
And mind you guys, we have absolutely no idea.
Yeah, we have no idea.
Yeah.
I didn't tell him.
Ray did not tell us on purpose. He wanted us to have
I kind of want to write it down. I don't even want to say it, bro. It's pretty bad.
a raw reaction to this.
All right, I'm going to say it. Ready? I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it once.
Okay.
It is so dumb.
3.
I'm so sorry.
2. 1.
A true vato. Dead serious, bro. Dead serious. I was dressing like a little cholo. I was in Riverside, going to North High School,
and
I was playing Blackheart.
This episode's about to come to a screeching halt, folks.
I told you.
No, I can't believe this.
A true vato.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, I did get made fun of for it.
I could just imagine that the TO. All right, we got Fat Toy next. A true vato. Can we get a true vato up here, please?
Oh my God, it was so bad, dude. Anyways,
somebody getting a hold of a true vato.
So moving on.
Let's continue on, please.
Okay, so I don't know what I was thinking, really, to maybe think that was a good name. I mean, I know what I was thinking, kind of, but it doesn't really matter. Anyways, so I meet Fat Toy. He's pretty chill, you know. I think maybe my name kind of intrigued him or something like that. I know some people were laughing, like, whenever they walk by, be like, hey, that's the truest vato right there.
Oh, no.
And I'm just some scrawny little kid, dude, and I'm just like, I don't know what I was thinking.
Fat Toy, for those of you that don't know, is an old G player, Iron Man Cable Sentinel.
Yes.
Player, and I think he would pick Sentinel Rocket Punch, right?
Nope, drones.
Oh, drones. Okay,
yep. He's the reason why I play that team.
Okay,
yeah.
I do remember he had one touch kill ability back then.
Yeah, he's the one that he kind of showed me a little bit on the startup. That's where I kind of improved the startup. That's where the science comes down to the. You know what I mean?
You want to maybe explain this? It's for like the other viewers.
As far as what?
You talking about like the science, the startups, like that? Okay.
Well, for those of you that aren't familiar with the game, at the beginning of the match, you can bump chests. The game allows your character to move freely on the ground, so you can start either away from your opponent or right directly in their face. Some characters at match start have higher priority to make contact, and Fat Toy was one of the players that knew how to maneuver around certain startups, like against Magneto or Storm or any other fast-paced characters. I had my own experience with him at Montebello Mall back when I was using MSP, like in 2007, and he would maul me every single time because that standing launcher, or he would normal jump, dash over while calling out Cable anti-air right into the infinite.
Right into
up fierce after that.
And dude, if I'm paying 50 cents a game, I'm pissed off.
Well, yeah, 50 cents, dude.
My characters are getting walked.
You're getting walked. You're getting walked,
yeah. And so I do remember that about him, that he had that one-touch kill ability.
And definitely the science and the startup. Like I don't know what it was, but it was like he would watch players, like what they were comfortable starting with. He'd be like, okay, this person starts down short the first 2 games, and the third game he does jump jab or something.
Yeah.
So he'd be like, okay, so the first game I'm gonna jump over, crossover, Cable, up fierce, infinite, you're dead. And then the next game you jump, well, I'm just gonna jump short or launch, you're dead. That's the science of it. So it's like a circle of life. You keep going over and over.
So then what's happening? Is he talking to you directly, or you're just kind of observing?
To me, he's like, what's up, you know, and we were hanging out. He didn't really give me too much information, like on improving in the game or anything like that. I just asked some questions because I was like, because I saw him beat Magneto on startup with a down short into Cable, and I was like, I thought Iron Man can't beat Magneto, and he's like, well, he can't, but I knew he wasn't gonna do down short, you know, just things like that. He knew I was playing here, man.
He was good at making a read. You know,
he had a good read. So that first tournament, I got my ass whooped. And then I was just like, okay, it was a one-time thing. Let's go back home. We'll hit the training mode. By the way, my first arcade stick that I was playing on was one of those X arcade sticks that was advertised on SRK. No. Oh my god! And then after that, it was the Street Fighter Anniversary Collection one. Don't worry, I took the buttons out and put moss buttons in.
Welcome to the club.
Cool. Yeah, dude.
Everybody had that.
I like that. I like the frame on it. It's pretty good.
Everyone had it.
So I lose that tournament, and then a little bit further down the road. A little bit further down the road, there was a power station in Long Beach.
Oh, I forgot about those
places.
By
the Hawaiian Gardens. Do you remember that one?
Are they still open?
No, it's gone.
No,
that one's gone.
Huh?
By the movie theater. They started doing tournaments, and I was losing over there. Fat Toy was near there too. He would say what's up to me and all that stuff. And keep in mind, I had no ride, so anytime I was going to these things, my mom was dropping me off or something, or
right on.
you know, or my dad was there, you know, just keep an eye on me, hanging out with me or whatever. And finally, there was one power station tournament. What happened was there was only probably about like 7 or 8 people, maybe 10 people or something. There wasn't a lot of people, and I got sent to losers, and that was the first time I beat someone who had a really good name. And I was shocked myself. But
this is still 2004?
Yeah, this is it. Yeah.
Okay.
2004. It's like late 2004.
Right on. Who was it?
Yeah.
Bill Woman.
Whoa.
But he sandbagged me. And then I know he did because he picked like Blackheart Sent Chun or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I beat him. I overheard someone in the back saying like, "Why'd you let him win?" or something like that. And I was just like, "Oh, whatever. It still counts to me. I don't care." You know?
I'll take it.
And
yeah,
then,
yeah, definitely, especially back then.
So that was like my first, win against a really good player, a well-known player.
Okay.
Right. I took it. I was like, I feel good about it, and I was still confident with Blackheart, and I was like, cool, so we're gonna run with it.
Okay.
A month later, another PSM tournament comes up, Pro Swami, and what happened was my first match was Bill Wellman. And
nice.
I thought that was kind of fishy. I was like, I don't know. I really don't believe in coincidences. So I was just like, maybe he wanted to humble me. Maybe he let me win. Now here's your chance to humble me. I don't know. I don't know if there was anything fishy or if it was just luck or whatever it was. I'm just a kid. And it's my first match. I get called up. Hey, Truvato versus Bill Wellman. Oh, my God. Oh, no. So bad.
You know what? When you said that you were matched up with Bill Wellman that second time, it just reminds me of that feeling of like an upset, tournament upset, and that same duo running into each other at a next tournament. People want to see that. Is it going to happen again, or is this person, or they want to see if the outcome's going to be
the same
consistent or if it's going to be different.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If the outcome is the same, then people are witness to a changing in the ranks, I guess.
Yeah,
that's the way I've always seen it.
Oh, that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Because you might lose
to show up and play.
I mean, I've lost to people in tournament, and I can dismiss it as a like I slipped on a banana peel or whatever.
Yeah.
But if it happens again the following tournament, it's okay. I have to do something different.
Right. And then people start taking notice.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So. All right, you meet him up the second time?
Meet him up the second time.
Does he take you seriously this time?
Yeah, he picked MSS drones.
Oh, God.
Yeah. He picked MSS drones. I took the first game.
Nice.
He beat me the next 2 because it was 3 out of 5. And then I won the next one, so it's 2-2.
Oh, wow. So we're going into a 5th game.
Nice.
Fifth game, right?
It's Bill Wellman. Okay.
5th game. He just absolutely mauls me, dude.
Oh.
Just destroyed me. And hold on. Wait a minute. He destroyed me. All I'm left is with Sun, full health. He had a half Magneto, a full Storm, and a full Sentinel. And I did it. I made a comeback.
You came back.
I made a comeback.
Is this up somewhere?
It's not on Zatch D.
Damn.
Because it was the first round, and I was just a nobody. So back then, they were kind of like recording like with tapes and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But
yeah, the VHS.
Yeah, those tripods that were standing up. So they only had so many available. So they wanted to make sure it was like well-known players. Like,
the premier
Ruben
players.
was there, Duck was there, Potter was there, all those guys, Dark Prince. You name it, they were there. Fat Toy, Fernie. You don't remember Fernie?
I don't.
No, that was Fat Toy's brother. He beat Stu on a D-pad.
Okay. So you win. What happens?
Bill actually complained to the tournament organizer saying the sticks were broken.
Oh.
And the tournament organizer, he's the owner of Pro Swap Meet, I believe, or the son of the owner. So he took care of those cabinets because he played too, and I've played him. He's actually pretty decent. He's not bad. So they go into the settings, they check the sticks and all that stuff, and he looks at Bill. And he's like, everything's fine. Like everything's fine. And then he's like, it's up to this guy if he wants to run it back. And then I was like, nope, go to losers. Dark Prince witnessed it. So he just kept running in at me, dude, just trying to like maul my son, but I just kept hitting him with uppercuts. Catching 2 characters at the same time, dude. And it worked. I don't know how I did it, but it worked. I mean,
it's a little unorthodox. Maybe he wasn't.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
It's like what's his name, Vidness. He still rocks Blackheart Cable Sun. Not a lot of people are used to it.
Right. I still play it every now and then.
Well, with the exception of online play. Right. But if you're not used to that, you're gonna run into that assist every single time.
Yep.
It's different range. It's different priority.
Yep.
So in a 2 out of 3 tournament setting or 3 out of 5, yeah, you might get wiped out. I've seen it happen.
Yeah. Because you won't adjust in time.
Exactly.
Yeah. So then what happened in the tournament? So you beat him, and then what
How
happens?
was the crowd reaction? That's what I'm wondering too.
Oh, the crowd was too busy looking at other players because no one knew who I was. There was probably like 3 or 4 people watching. It was like Dark Prince and like 2 or 3 other random people.
Oh, okay.
I don't really remember who was watching besides Dark Prince because I just remember seeing he's like, I saw it, and so
the lost archives.
Right. Well, see, without a platform like this, we can't get these stories out there, man.
Exactly.
You would never hear.
This is why we do this, bro.
It's because we didn't have access to the way our phones work and stuff like that nowadays. Like,
yeah. So then, what ended up happening in that tournament?
Oh, I lost the next 2 rounds.
Wow,
it was really bad.
That was short-lived.
It was really bad. I forgot who beat me. I think it was Pigadokin, that Jalbert guy.
Oh,
I think he sent me to losers, and then Ruin destroyed me in the.
Okay.
So he beat me after that.
Shoutouts to Ruin.
Yeah,
man.
shoutouts to Ruin, man. Shoutouts to Ruin.
And shoutouts to Bill too. Good stuff.
Yeah,
good
Bill.
stuff, brother.
Yeah, Bill. I consider Bill like my first rival at the time. Like that's the way I looked at it because I was, it was the first time he sandbagged, and then the next time, then he kind of complained about the buttons, and I was like, oh, come on, man, like, come on, man. I considered him a first rival. He may not feel the same way, but I did. So,
did anything else notable happen in 2004?
Nah, it was mainly just me kind of just practicing by myself because I really didn't have anyone. I lived in Riverside at the time.
So, on an individual basis, Blackheart, you already know how to do the infinite.
Mm-hmm.
You know how to cancel into supers.
Mm-hmm.
Cable, I'm assuming you know how to do air hyper viper.
Yeah.
You know how to do the tiger knee motion, all that.
Mm-hmm.
All this advanced stuff. Did you pick it up from other players? Did you ask people, or did you just observe?
I was observing. I think I may have asked some people like at the arcade, like, how do you do this? And they were just like, oh, you just do Nadugan, but you go all the way up.
Okay.
Stuff like I can't remember who specifically.
And I only ask because I feel like there's there's got to be something that sets off this chain reaction from you picking low tier characters. Like for me, picking low tier characters and transitioning into high tier, your Blackheart, your Cable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that
you
transition.
You don't just learn how to do air hyper viper beam.
No, you don't. I definitely got shown it, and then I practiced it at home. Like that's so easy. It's just a Dugan up forward. Like I've been playing Street Fighter since I was a kid, so like I already knew a Dugan motions, Shoryuken motions, and stuff like that. But I didn't know what a tiger knee was.
Okay.
So I'm reading do a tiger knee on the SRK. I'm like, what is a tiger knee? Like I didn't get it. So yeah, just a Dugan all the way up.
You know the feeling. I never played Super Turbo, so. When people would say do a tiger knee, I would think of the input from the older games, which was just uppercut with kick.
Yeah, that's how
I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah, like, what are you talking about? Anyway,
that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah,
because I played a little bit of ST. My uncle had introduced me to it, but I didn't know even at the time what. And when I would see an SRK, I was like, how do you do that? And it was like this Z motion thing.
Yeah, I see that.
What is this?
Yeah.
I didn't get it. It's easier just to do forward than.
And apparently, it's not actually forward down forward. It's forward down forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just do forward than a Dugan.
Yeah. See,
I think it's so much easier that way instead of trying to do the Zoro motion.
That's what I'm saying.
I always thought like Zoro.
The Zoro motion.
All right, man. Let's move on to 05.
All right, 05.
Okay, so what happened in 05? Are you moving up the ranks? Are things kind of changing for you? Because somewhere along the way, you ditched those 3 characters.
I did. In 05 is when it happened.
Okay, all right. Walk us through it, bro.
Walk us through this progression here.
05 was an interesting year because, like, I'm at the point where Marvel has killed all my joy for other video games. I don't play anything else. I don't look at anything else, like as far as video games. And I was a big Resident Evil fan, and other games and stuff like that. So at this point, it's Marvel. Crack. I want that. So in 2005, obviously I'm still going to school and stuff like that, or trying to. I mean, because I don't want to get in trouble. So I go to the block, and that's when I ran into Dominic. Saw Dominic, and he was just, man, he beat me like a stepchild, dude. Like it was bad. And I was like, I don't understand how someone's defense could be so strong. I literally thought he was like a top player at the time. I was like, dude, this guy is nuts. Staying away, calling silent. I couldn't even get half his cable off. He was just shooting me down and all this stuff, and it was just really annoying. So at that point, so we're talking after he beat me, because at the block, probably beat me about 10, 15 times. That's like $15 right there. So I'm just like, okay, I'm done. That's my allowance for the week, dude. I'm sorry. I can't even go see the movie now.
Oh, man.
So that's why I met Dominic. And we're talking, and he's like, hey, you ever go to James Games or Cameron's Place or anything like that? And at this point, the only arcades that I really knew about or that I was playing at was The Block, Pro Swap Meet, and this little rinky-dink arcade in Riverside called Fiesta Village. That's pretty much where I was going. No one goes there. I was just
Jesus.
Yeah, I was just going there just to practice on an arcade cabinet. That was it. But didn't really help. Yeah, I didn't really care about school or friends. I didn't have a social life because, like I said, we moved around so many times. I didn't want to, start friendships over again and then have to leave if we did move again because, like, at that point, I think it was like the third or fourth time we moved.
Right.
So we switched schools quite a bit. So Dominic, he introduces me to Cameron's Place. And for those of you who don't know, Cameron's Place is Alex Arcade. That was the original name.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was the original name. They were owned by like an older couple, like kind of like a biker Santa Claus looking dude. Very nice guy though, very nice. Him and his wife, they're very nice. And it was definitely more beat down than it was from what you guys saw. Alex Arcade, like kind of like run down a little.
Yeah,
but it was worse than that.
Really?
Yeah, it was worse than that. So he takes me to Cameron's Place, and that's when I met Daniel, Deathwish.
Okay.
So I'm playing Daniel on the cabinets, and he's just beating my ass with Strider, and I'm just like, how's this guy gonna beat me with Strider? He's gonna have Doom like this. There's no way. And then oh my god, man, he destroyed me. And at this time, like I'm kind of dabbling with like Mag, Storm, Sentinel, but like I just don't have the confidence or the knowledge to execute or even try to win with these characters. I just can't do it. So I felt the most confident with Blackheart Cable Sun because it was cheesy, it was easy, and yeah, that was pretty much it. Once he introduced me to Daniel took me under his wing. He actually took the time to sit down with me on a Dreamcast and sit in training mode and kind of like explain certain variables, like why you don't Hyper Sentinel Force against a Strider who's about to activate orbs because he could just disappear and punish you, stuff like that.
That's cool.
Because he's like, why don't you play like Thrax and Magneto and stuff like that? And I told him, I just can't do it. I don't get it. And he's like, just try it and I'll tell you what you're doing wrong. So we'd play and he would coach me while he was beating my ass, which I respected because I was finally someone who's going to sit down and describe everything to me because that's what I needed. I needed structure. I needed like someone to like sit down with me. Yeah. Because reading on SRK and really helpful. And another thing back then, I felt like information was more retained amongst other people's circles and their cliques. Oh, absolutely. You know what I mean? Like the higher Magneto crew and all that stuff. Like when it came to their friends and stuff like that, they were holding certain information.
They're gonna withhold their own tech.
Within, they were keeping tech a little bit, like if they found like a new startup or something like that, they weren't really sharing it like the way we share information now. You know what I mean?
It's a different time, man.
So now me and Daniel are good friends. He'd come to my house, I come to his house, like almost every week. We were playing like 3 times, 4 times a week. I would even ditch school, take a bus, and go to his house, dude, without my mom knowing.
Damn. Yeah. And during this training that you're doing, are you noticing the difference in your gameplay?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I'm starting to see some, but not confident enough.
Takes a while.
It does, dude. It really does. I thought I would never get good with Magneto. I honestly just didn't even want to play him. I was like, this is too much. Too many buttons to press. I don't want to do it. Yeah. So I'm playing with Daniel, and then he introduces me into his circle of friends that he plays with, and we became a really tight circle. So it was Daniel, Ricardo, which he didn't really have like a name in SRK, but he was a really good Rotron player back then. He didn't really pay attention to SRK.
Okay.
But I learned to beat Rotron because of him, and I learned to beat or deal with Strider because of Daniel. I learned a lot in those matchups, so I feel like a lot of the times when I get in those situations, I can handle myself very well. So,
and by the way, I'm sorry, are you picking Thrax at this point, or is it?
I'm still doing Blackheart. Like I'm trying to play.
Like, you're trying to integrate.
I'm trying to like during casuals, but it's like if it ever came down to like a tournament or something like that, I was picking Blackheart.
Okay.
There was just no way. I was like, there's no way I'm picking Santhrax.
Still on the Blackheart then. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it's Daniel, Ricardo, and then Herman, Dev One Ant.
Yeah.
He was in our little clique. It was us 4. Remember him?
Deviant. Yeah.
Yeah. He was actually really good, but he just never played. I felt like he was good, but something held him back. But anyways. So we're playing. I'm slowly starting to get more intrigued and better with Santhrax as 2005 is going on. Like a lot really didn't happen because I didn't have a car. I couldn't really travel a lot. You know what I mean? It was just either whoever was close to my area get dropped off at Daniel's house, which he was like 10 minutes, 15 minutes away. So it wasn't even that bad. Or he'd come over to my house or whatever. And then I remember one day we decided to go to FFA, and it was like Dominic, Daniel, Ricardo, and me. And it was the first time I ever went to FFA.
Nice. Family Fun Arcade in Granada Hills.
First time I ever went to FFA.
This is when?
This is like late 2005, maybe like mid 2005, around there.
Oh man, so we're already at the end. So
yeah, I'm telling you, not a lot happened in
it's 2000. It's a full year. Okay, so
I'm literally just playing casuals and just trying to learn the game as much as I possibly can, because I'm like 15, 16 years old at the time. I don't have a job, don't have a license, I don't have a car. I can't travel, you know. Yeah, I don't.
I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like 05 was the year of your awakening, I guess.
Yeah.
You underwent the change from low tier to your Blackheart team, and now you're learning. You're moving into the upper echelon of the game. Right?
Yes, I'm starting to dive into those areas, but not confident enough to like win a tournament or something like that.
For sure. All right, so walk us through it. So FFA.
I'm like, holy cow, this is where the killers are at, right? Like, wow, these guys are good. You know, I'm watching all these guys play, and I don't really know anybody. And this was probably like my first money match ever. And and this was the first bad experience I've had. I'm gonna throw a little spice in this one for you guys, because this was my first time pretty much traveling to like a foreign arcade area. And I'm like, holy cow, these guys are killers. You know, Sue Mighty was there. I think Finesse was there at the time. I'm not sure though.
It sounds about right, actually.
So this one dude, I don't remember his name. I just remember what his name was on SRK, and it was like Donald Duck TM or something like that. I don't know. He was like a moderator. He wasn't really anybody. I don't know. He came up to me and Daniel and Ricardo and asked us if we wanted to do a 3-on-3 money match. And well, we didn't really have a lot of money on us at the time, so we're like, okay, we'll do it for like $2 a head or something like that. Right? And
$2 a head.
It was bad, dude. Yeah, it was bad.
Damn.
It was like $2 a head.
Talk about stretching that dollar.
Yeah, for real, man. It was like $2 a head, so like $6 for the whole.
So it was the three of you versus who?
It was that Donald Duck guy, and it was Sue, and I think it was Finesse.
Damn, dude.
Man. There was no way we were winning. There was no way. I was just like Daniel, it's $2. Like this is a good learning experience for me. Even if I lose, I don't care. We lost pretty badly. I think Sue got on and just never got off. He just beat the shit out of us. Too. He picked Thrax and just destroyed us. I picked Blackheart, did not work. Ricardo picked Rotron. Daniel picked Strider. We picked our best shit. Nothing worked.
So what about it was bad?
I'm about to get to that right now. We lose, right? we give the Donald Duck guy the $6, and this is when he's like, "What is this?" We said 10. I'm like, what do you mean 10? We said 2. I said, no, we said 10 ahead. So he's like getting mad at me. And he's like trying to bully me into giving him more money, because he said that we agreed on different amounts. I'm like, no. And then Daniel saw it, because I was really little back then. And Daniel saw it, so he got mad. And, you know, at the time, he said we were kind of like brothers, you know. He was like, I was like his little brother or whatever.
Right. So
he got mad, and he kind of like grabbed me by their shirt, and he's like, we said $2, leave him the fuck alone, you know. And then he was just like, you know what? I don't appreciate players like you guys, because, you know, I'm an SRK moderator, and you guys are a disgrace to the community. Pay out your fucking bets and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, dude, you shut the fuck up. So after that, we just left. And I was just like, wow. I was like, is it always like this at other arcades? I'm like, this is ridiculous. I don't want to be a part of this. And I was like, whatever. So that was my first spicy moment at FFA.
$10. I thought we said 2.
Right, dude. I didn't have a job, bro. I would have paid if I had more money.
I wonder how that got lost in translation. I didn't even have an allowance,
dude. I used to save my money from like lunch at school and just starve myself the whole week and save it to the weekend to go play.
That's definitely what we all did, actually.
That's what I used to do, man.
Dude, that's fucking nuts, man.
Yeah.
You're telling me all of these things that are going on. Late 2005, I was barely getting my fucking beak wet with freaking Magneto. And you're already traveling from arcade to arcade.
Traveling what I can, yeah.
And yeah, with
my thumb.
But you made it happen, though. That's the important
crew with
well, yeah, man, because this I absolutely love this game, dude. I love this game. This game this game is not just a game to me. This game was something that helped me through dark times. It's like therapy, you know.
For sure.
It was there for me.
It was for a lot of us.
Yep.
It was there for me when no one wasn't.
Yeah.
And so this was like my zen, you know, filled that dark void. So
Yep.
I did what I could, you know, to go around. So yeah, after that, nothing much really happened in 2005. It was just going to Daniel's house, back and forth, playing with Herman, Ricardo, you know, staying up till like 6 o'clock in the morning, drinking monsters, smoking Newports.
Jesus.
It was bad, bro.
Every guy's dream.
Every guy's dream, dude. It was so bad. All right, so nothing really, like, that was pretty much it in 2005. So now we're in 2006. Blackheart is completely out of the picture. I'm fully committed. And
Nice.
The only reason why is
Fully integrated.
Yes.
Mhm. So the reason why is because I got to meet Reset at a power station tournament over here at Long Beach, and he was like really nice to me. And I think it may because we were the same age or something like
Dude,
that.
you can move the mic a little closer to you.
Oh, sorry about that. There you go. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I met Reset at the Power Station tournament in Long Beach, and he was intrigued by me. Maybe he saw potential in me or something like that, or I don't know what it was. Maybe because we were the same age, but we ended up becoming really good friends. And he took me under his wing, and he did the same thing Daniel did, which he sat down with me. So Daniel was like, he gave me like a good foundation and understanding of the game. But 2006, when I started playing with Reset, that's when I started understanding the super advanced stuff, you know, like Suki canceling and how to guard break normal jumps and properly guard break. You can't get out of certain guard breaks, stuff like that. Good resets. And that's where I started improving when I started playing with Reset.
Nice.
When he took me under his wing. And at this point, I am no longer a true Vato. I'm no longer a true Vato because I'm so embarrassed by the name, dude. I didn't know what to do. Did not know what to do. So I just abbreviated it, ATV. So people were like, what's ATV mean? All-terrain vehicle? I'm like, yeah, exactly. Come ride this.
All-terrain vehicle.
I told you, man.
Come ride
my
this.
story's cringy. It's all good, man.
I just remember like one of the GameCube games, like ATV
Right?
racing.
Oh god.
Oh,
man.
man.
It's interesting that you say that Reset took you under his wing,
Mhm.
because he couldn't have been more condescending towards me, bro.
I know. We had different interactions. I know.
What?
I don't know what it was between you two. You guys had some serious animosity, dude.
We did, man, and
You guys
it wasn't
did.
until it didn't escalate until I started getting better.
Right.
I mean, but this is from the very beginning. Like I don't know what it was.
Really? Even
but
the
you
beginning?
but you were the fortunate one, so he took you under his wing.
Yeah.
But so then he showed you the ropes with Magneto.
Yeah. So now I'm executing a lot better. I'm understanding like the science, like how to fake a mix up and go for the same mix up, but then do something else. You know what I mean? Kind of like when you get them like let's say you got Mag Psylocke and you hit them with like a hard knockdown 5 fierce combo, and you go try jump overhead down short. You say you catch him and you do the 5 fierce again. Now you go for the tri jump again, but you're whiffing it and you're doing it so fast, you're kind of getting it close to the timing to where the animation's about where they're gonna get hit, but then it whiffs and then you go straight for the feet. So they're like, oh, I'm gonna block up this time. I'm like, no, I'm going down low.
For those of you listening at home, Ray's walking us through some pretty advanced mechanics here regarding the game, but
Right. Yeah,
it's a lot of stuff that you can't. If you're a newcomer, you really can't get down unless you put the work in and you practice this at home. This is why having your own console, having the game at home, having your own joystick is extremely important.
Yep.
This is also for the people that seem to bash on like the high tier stuff. They don't understand that also. It's not just about picking the characters that's allowing you to win. You have to put in the time.
You have to put in the time.
There's a lot of time invested into getting good with these top tier characters.
Exactly. It's more than just picking up the OP characters.
Right. It's just more
because
than
I've
that.
seen people pick top tier characters and lose to Justin Wong's low tiers and stuff like that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Or
Yep.
even other people's low tiers.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just how it is. If you suck, you suck.
So then what's
to
happening? How long did you play the game under Reset's wing?
Pretty much until late 2007.
Okay.
So we're training buddies at this point. Like I'm going to his house like every weekend, and if he's too busy, then I go to Daniel's or whoever. I'm just trying to play with whoever. I don't
Nice.
really care. I want to get good Because I once I found SRK, so back to 2004, like when Dark Prince showed me SRK, and then I saw like the Evo DVD trailer and all that stuff. Like I was like, oh my god, I was mind blown. I've always wanted to be at that level. Like I was like, I need to get to that level. I want to be up there. I wanted to be up there. I wanted to be on the main stage at Evo. Never happened, but anyways.
So okay, so 2006.
2006.
I remember this is when Dominic. So while you were under Reset's wing, I was under Dominic's wing. So Dominic in 2006 invited me over to your place.
Yes, I remember that.
I don't know how it happened, but I remember going over, and I don't remember what teams you were playing.
I was playing MSS at the time.
MSS, okay.
MSS drones.
But I just remember getting destroyed.
Yeah.
And I thought, God damn, I'm not ready for. And Ray was, and don't mind you, Dominic was hyping you up like crazy.
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
that you were top 50 at some tournament.
At Evo, I was top 50 for Evo 2007.
Okay.
2006, got my ass whooped.
Okay, but he was still saying that you were top 50 in the world.
I don't know anything about
in the
that.
world, and top locally and stuff like that. Like he was just telling me everything that
Locally,
you were doing.
possible. I don't know. I honestly didn't really pay attention to the rank. I just wanted to get out there because I didn't feel like I had a recognition or a name until like 2007.
Yeah,
when I changed my name.
But see, he was already hyping you up then, though. So it's a good thing. I believe when someone does it on your behalf and you don't have to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like
Yeah,
I don't have to
actually,
boast myself up. Like this,
absolutely.
Like, like this person, be like, hey, this guy's good. I'm like,
And by the way,
I'm very animated. By the way,
is this does this coincide also with your story, Ken, when you were describing how Ray had a Sentinel?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
so,
at the time, I thought that Chris Magnus,
right,
was the be all end all for Sentinel players.
Right.
And I thought that I was building my way up to have a Sentinel like his, and Ray was doing Sentinel combos that were better than his. He was already doing unfly, refly in the corner, and I thought, oh my god, there's more than one. Like there's more. Every other Sentinel that I had played up until that point was just very bread and butter.
Right.
Up back, laser, unfly laser kind of deal.
Right.
And Ray was doing all kinds of combos and links that I thought that Chris was only able to do. So when I went to his place and I got destroyed, I remember thinking, God damn, dude, I have so much more to work on.
Yeah.
Because Ray was at that point, even though he said he was struggling with Dominic, by that time he had already surpassed him leaps and bounds.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I remember leaving Ray's house thinking, dude, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do, because
we all go through that feeling. We all go through that.
I didn't know that people would get together and have sessions and stuff like that. I'm barely getting introduced to that, and Ray has already participated in tournaments.
Right.
He's already had multiple training partners.
Right.
He's already tried and tested different teams to see what works in high pressure situations. Like, dude, he has the experience already. And me, coming from my local mall, like, dude, there was no way I was going to compete with that.
Yeah.
So I noticed Ray right away as one of the be all end all opponents that I thought, damn, I don't know if I'm ever going to get to that point. You know what I mean?
Right.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know you looked at me like that.
Oh yeah.
Crazy.
Oh yeah, for sure, bro. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, thank you.
Sure
you got to give credit where it's due.
It's
Man.
making me
Ray
blush.
Ray was a fucking killer, dude, back then.
No, I mean, I can only imagine, like, if I were to see some of those combos that he was doing
at that
time,
it was definitely
it was ridiculous.
Dude.
And Ray would go to the mall sometimes, to the Montebello Mall.
Oh yeah, only because I was with Dominic.
Yeah,
because I wasn't driving. Yeah, so if Dominic was in my neighborhood, like he was always at the Block or Disneyland, which is like down the street, because OC for life, So
God.
He would come. He'd call me. Hey Ray, you want to go to this arcade? I'm like, whatever, let's go. And then he'd pull out his. I was like, I don't got no money because I don't have a job. He's like, don't worry, I got M&M jars full of quarters. Remember that? He used to carry those things. He used to get like the king size ones, fill it up with quarters.
Oh my god.
Oh.
So he would go to the mall. So I would see Ray every once in a while. And then in 2007, that was when I was working on Sentinel in training mode. Remember, he was ready to debut. So I remember going to Ray's house once. I went to your house once in 2007. This is like post Evo, so you were already on the I think I'm gonna step away from the game for a little bit. I think
I didn't step away till like late 2007. It was like early 2008.
We were almost there.
Yeah,
but I had already grown a little bit better at this point, so I think I gave you a little bit of a better fight. But you still whoop my ass like nobody else. And
yeah, but I can still see the potential right there, though.
What I still remember, okay, this is a little funny moment. I remember I was still working on Sentinel, and I told Ray, hey Ray, what do you think about this? And in the corner, I did something stupid like Hyper Sentinel Force, and I did standing laser while calling out Magneto EM Disruptor, and I unflew, I dashed forward, and I launched. And I was like, I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I'm like, hey, what do you think about this? And Ray he looked at me. He's like, that's stupid. Don't ever do that again.
Did I say that?
He did. So that's stupid.
That does sound like Ray,
Don't
though.
do that.
That is patented Ray, though. Ray
Like, oh
does
my
say
God.
that a lot.
I think it was just because like I didn't like the idea of you throwing yourself in the corner. I don't know, maybe something. And then it was like it possibly could miss because because the height. Because if you,
Yeah.
you know what I mean,
Right.
So
You don't dash
the
off.
laser would connect. I would fly. The EM Disruptor would connect afterwards.
Yes.
So I would be able to unfly.
You have
land,
enough time once the
dash
disruptor
forward
hits.
and launch. So
it was very risky.
It was pretty much a waste of an assist call, basically.
Yeah.
But I thought it was cool.
It looked cool.
Yeah. Yeah, sure it did.
Yeah, I'm more zen nowadays, guys.
So he shut that down.
And by the way,
then go
sorry,
ahead.
mind you, the matches that you two are playing at this point, where you said that you
Mhm.
were kind of giving him a better run for his money. What team were you playing at that point, and what team was Ray playing?
I'm doing it's 2007, so I'm not ready to debut MSS yet. So I was still using MSP.
Okay.
And Ray at this point was giving me MSS. He was giving me MSP as well, and he was using Fat Toy. So Iron Man Cable Sentinel.
Gotcha. Okay.
So he was, I mean, Ray being what they call it, a jack of all trades. This is what people call you, jack of all trades.
Yeah. There's a quote that I love.
Yeah.
About, you know that quote?
I don't.
It says
Tell it to
the
us.
quote. I think this quote definitely like relates to me a lot because of my play style and how many tools that I have. It's because the quote says, "A jack of all trades is a master of none, but a jack of all trades is better than a master of one."
Nice.
Yeah.
That's an awesome quote.
And ever since then, it's stuck to me. I learned that quote in 2007 from my dad.
That's
And
super cool.
then that same year, I changed my name and all that stuff, my alias.
Nice.
It was like a bunch of good things happened in 2000, but then a lot of bad things happened in 2007.
I feel like we haven't talked about that. When did you switch from a True Vato to Spartan?
That was 2007.
Okay,
And-
so walk us through it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're done with 06.
Mm-hmm.
07, you mentioned that you were under Reset's wing for a little bit.
Yep,
You kinda
still
showed-
playing together.
Okay, so what
training.
happened late 07?
Late 07?
Yeah.
Okay, you want to know when my name was changed? My name was changed like around March.
Oh, okay.
Like
okay,
around. So yeah, it was like around March. I'm still using ATV at this point. I'm like, dude, I need a better name. I was like, I'm tired of getting laughed at and all that stuff. Like, dude, I look white. I don't speak Spanish. Why is my name a Truvato? It makes no sense. So it's around March 2007.
Okay.
The movie 300 comes out.
It did. Yeah, that's right.
A month before the Cal Poly tournament where Dark Prince money matched Clockwork, and it came out about a month before that.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah. So at the time, people were still calling me a Truvato because they were like, "Oh, that's your name," but I was like, "No, I'm Spartan now." So I was so inspired by that movie. Like, I know obviously Hollywood tends to change the storyline.
Right.
It wasn't the storyline that got me. It was just like the animosity that those soldiers had, and they didn't back down even if the numbers were against them. And I felt like that related to my play style. Like, even if I had Psylocke and I was fighting a whole Thrax, I'm not giving up.
Yeah.
If I had Commando, I don't care. I'm not giving up.
Yeah.
Like, I was just so inspired by that, and I was like, you know what? No one is named Spartan. It's original. It's cool. It makes me feel like a warrior out there.
Fresh.
Obviously it's a video game, but I mean, doing nothing like that. But so that's when I switched to Spartan because I was really inspired by the movie. So a month later, Cal Poly comes. Dominic took me there, and
Cal Poly had a tournament?
yeah, Cal Poly Pomona, the university. That's
Yeah.
where Dark Prince and Clockwork took place.
I remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in 2007.
Man, I watched that video so many times.
At this point, wait, what I missed?
He said Ivan's talking about the Dark Prince interview.
Oh yeah.
You gotta love it.
Oh my gosh.
There we go, baby.
So at this point, I have my teams. Not team. I have my teams. I have 6 teams that I'm really well rounded with.
6 teams?
I had 6 teams for tournaments.
Jesus.
At this point, I had 6 teams, and it was Matrix, Santhrax, MSS Rocket Punch, Drones, MSP, and Team Toy. Those are my 6 teams.
Beautiful.
For tournaments and tournaments only. Like, I was still playing like black card and stuff, like casual or whatever. I would never play Team Scrub. I don't know. My cable wasn't that good back then. I feel like my cable's way better now than it ever was. But
I agree. Yeah,
Thank
definitely.
you. So I get to this tournament, and I brought a DC setup that day, and I brought up my TV and all that stuff. That was so funny because for some reason I think when I brought the TV, like some change fell into the TV and it exploded inside the arcade when people were playing. A bunch of smoke came out, so I had to throw it out in the dumpster. It was pretty funny. That was just a little funny story to add in there.
What the hell?
All right, so it's 2007. It's the day Dark Prince and Clockwork play. I'm going because I want to see the match. And I did watch. I was there. It was pretty crazy, dude. I didn't see the drama that escalated after that. I'm not going to share that part because it's not my story to tell. So this is the first tournament with a bunch of killers. I don't want to say every single killer, but I say every single killer in California probably was there. And Justin Wong was there. He was there. He took first place, I believe.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I saw the bracket on SRK like a few nights ago. Because I'm in top 8. A True Vato. It's right there. That was the first time I made top 8 with a bracket full of killers with no one sandbagging me. I actually earned it. And I was impressed with myself, and that was
nice.
that was the time where I was like, holy shit, this work is paying off. I can hang with these guys now.
Yeah,
I can actually play. You know, like I'm not dumb. Like,
damn,
wow,
that's such a great feeling. Bro.
Yeah,
that feeling. It's like I'm finally there. Like, but I wasn't. I wanted more. Like I wanted to be superior. Like at least good enough, maybe like in the top like 1% or 5% or whatever.
Right.
I wasn't trying to beat Justin Wong or anything like that. I mean, it was a dream, but anyways, back to the Cal Poly thing.
It's so gratifying to hear, man.
Yeah.
After all the work he put through.
So Cal Poly was the first tournament, like I said, bracket full of killers. I did exceptionally well. I placed top 8, and I won the first round. I don't remember who it was. It was just some like kind of like low tier player. But the second round, I lost to somebody that Jay Frez guy. You remember him?
Oh God.
He wasn't even that good. I know he wasn't that good because I was pretty confident. Like at that time, I was like, I'm confident I could beat this guy. But we had to play on the small cab at Cal Poly, and the sticks were kind of iffy. So, like, DC wasn't really, like, a main dominant thing at those times. It was always arcade.
And this is early 07, right?
It's April 07.
This is April. I didn't realize he was around back then.
Yeah.
I met that guy in 2008.
Mm-hmm.
And him and I were kind of going back and forth on who had a superior sentinel. I don't remember him being that's news to me.
Yeah, he beat me. He sent me to losers.
And this is a guy that uses Magneto Sentinel Psylocke.
Something like that.
AKA
I can't remember.
MSP 2.0.
Yeah,
like
that's what he beat me with. Something like that. Yeah. So he sends me to losers, and I'm butthurt because I was like, I shouldn't have lost. So I got sent to losers, and then I win like 2 or 3 more matches.
Well, you're feeling it right now, huh?
Yeah.
He sent you to losers. You're just like, God damn.
Damn. I take a deep breath every time just thinking about it because I'm like, you mother.
That's what it does.
I wish
to you,
DC
man.
was more dominant back then because back then everyone was traveling. We were all playing on arcade cabinets. You have to adjust. We'll get back to that. So I win a couple more matches in losers, and then I see that I'm not playing for a little while, but I see who my next opponent is, and it's Duck.
Oh.
Duck. And I have it in my head like, dude, it's over. Like, that's it. Like, I have no training. I have nothing. I don't know how to beat Spiral. What am I supposed to do? So I was like, I just put my head down, and I remember I was like, fuck. And then I asked the TO, I was like, how much time do I have till we play? He's like, you got about 10 minutes. I was like, okay. I'm going to go outside and I'm going to go smoke real quick, you know, in my sorrows or whatever. Just premeditating the loss, you know what I mean? So I go outside, you know, just rip a fat one, and then I smoke a cigarette, and then I come inside and have my head down. I'm still thinking, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I was like, what the hell? And you've been to Cal Poly? You guys been to Cal Poly or not?
I've never been there.
Okay, so when you walk in, it's kind of like the corridors. There's like these doors, and there's like a little hallway. You can go left, there's a bunch of food court, and if you go right, there's like a little hallway, and then it opens up to a big arcade.
You remember we played there, me and you.
We had?
Yeah, like this is like
my memory's so bad.
Yeah, a couple years back, but
we did.
Yeah, remember we were
Cal Poly Pomona?
Yeah, because shout out to my boy Irving, because he was going there for a little bit, and we ended up playing a few games on the cabs.
Oh my gosh, I don't remember this. I'm so sorry.
No,
I'm sure he's got a picture in his phone somewhere.
Yeah.
Refresh my memory. Sorry, Ivan.
No, it's all good.
So I come back in through the double doors, and then I make a right, and I'm coming down the little corridor hallway, and then I see Potter. Potter's walking towards me from a distance, and he's like, "Hey, what's up, man?" At this point, I've never conversated with Potter. Like, I don't, like, I always thought he was like, I was like, oh, cool, Potter, like, he's a cool dude. Like, I never talked to him. He's never talked to me. And he comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, what's up?" And like I said, I never talked to him. So I thought he was talking to someone else. I looked behind me. No one's there. And he's like, "No, you, man. What's up, dude? What are you doing?" And I was like, I'm in losers bracket. I'm about to go play my match. And he's like, "Who are you going to play?" And I was like, "I'm going to play Duck. So I think I'm going to go home after this." And he's like, "Nah, what do you mean? No, dude, you think you're going to lose? No, you got this. You got this, all right?" And he said, this is what you got to do. And I don't know what made him give me advice. Honestly, seriously, I think there was a rivalry.
I know.
Was there a rivalry between them?
There was.
That's what it was.
Not to sidetrack too much, but Duck and Potter had their own rivalry that was brewing for a little while. That went all the way back to I want to say, I don't want to say the wrong arcade, but there's video. There's a video of them having a tournament match on arcade, and there's a huge pop off from Duck. It's I have to find it, but and I'll post it up. But yeah, they had their own thing going, so it makes sense for him to approach you and say, "Hey, this is what you need to do."
I didn't know that at the time. I didn't.
Back then that was kind of the norm. If you didn't like somebody, you would go to their opponent, and I mean, if you were grimy as fuck, of course, you would go to their opponent and say, "Hey, man, he's gonna pick this team on you. You should do this.
Oh.
Hey, he likes to do this, so you should counter him with this." Like that was one of those tactics, bro. I mean, it would happen even when a money match was planned. Like you were gonna play somebody in 2 weeks, right?
Right.
So people would hit you up. People would hit me up and say, "Hey, you should pick this or try to do this to get around that." Just to
grimy,
dude. That's how it was. And Potter must have had his own reasons to coach you for that.
Yeah, I never asked him why he did that. He does remember doing that because I've asked him recently because I wanted to see.
Well, there you go, man.
Yeah, I got the receipts. So
there you go. Yeah. But see,
shout out to Potter, by the way, for that.
Had I not known that, then
man.
So
we wouldn't be able to get to the bottom of it.
I had no playbook because I've never fought a Spiral. Who plays Spiral? Really good. Duck. He's the only one. He's the only one, right?
Creedot from FFA, and not other people know about him.
I don't know about him.
Yeah, and that's about it.
So Potter's advice was, I remember it very vividly. He said, "Nah, man, you got this. You can do this." He's like, "Here's what I want you to do. I want you to pick Team Matrix. All right? Pick Team Matrix. And only call Cyclops the second you see Cable come out as a counter call. You're going to stick to him like glue, hit him with anything, a jab, a short, get rid of those swords. But you're only going to counter call, and you're going to get those meters, and you're going to DHC that bitch." That's what he said. And I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll try that." And I took that information to heart. Like, I actually executed exactly. I've never reacted that way based on advice, and I thought that was a really cool moment.
Wow.
So every time I saw Cable, it was boom, Cyclops. And I was just, let Cyclops deal with Cable, go up. I'm dashing in. I'm going for Spiral. I'm just trying to get in his face. I'm just looking for an opening. I'm just like, you want to swords? Jab, just get. I'm like, you ain't going to shank me today.
Yeah.
So I win the first game. And then Duck switched to Spiral Sentinel Commando. And then he beat my
pocket team for sure. Yeah, that's one of his pocket teams.
And then he beat my Matrix. And I was like, shit, Potter only gave me advice for Cable. What do I do? So I was like, fuck it. I'm picking Thrax. You want Commando? I got Commando too. And the match was very interesting because it went down to the wire to where my Sentinel was like almost any chip was going to kill me. And Duck did the corridor super, and it didn't kill me. And I just did the rocket punch and fucking punched him in the face. And that's all he had was like a rocket punch health, and I won. And everyone was shocked. Everyone was shocked, dude. It was.
And this is a 2 out of 3 setting?
Yeah, it was 2 out of 3.
Okay.
2 out of 3 at
my
that time.
goodness.
Wow.
It was 2 out of 3. And no one believed it. And the tournament, I think the person who was running the bracket, and I'm going to mention his name because there's a little bit of a trend with it. It was Mega Man DS. He was running the bracket.
Oh, okay.
So we actually played on DC because I brought my DC that day, right? So after that, when people were playing, then the TV exploded later on that day. So there was no DC. I love Dreamcast still because it's my equipment. So, but anyways,
the TV exploded.
It did, dude. And then I was like, why did it explode? And I picked it up and I hear a bunch of change fall out. I was like, what? Oh, so whatever.
So okay, so where are we at in the bracket? You beat Duck.
I beat Duck. I'm still far away from the end, you know. So I'm playing. I think I ran until I beat Y2J as well right after.
Oh, I forgot about that guy.
I beat Y2J right after that.
Oh man,
I think Dios. Some other Blackheart player. I think it was Dios X or it might have been Viscont or someone. Okay. I can't remember. But I beat him too, and then I beat a couple other fillers. I don't know. I just want to call them fillers. Sorry, I don't remember their names.
Wow.
So, you know what I mean. So, and then I make it to top 8, and I run into Fnatic. And this
America's favorite.
Yeah, I ran into Fnatic, and that one was a 3 out of 5. He beat me 3-2.
Okay,
3-2. It was very, very close, and that was when Fnatic actually gave he didn't know who I was, but he gave me respect, and we became acquaintances after that. I wouldn't say friends, but definitely acquaintances, because we ended up teaming up at Evo and stuff like that over there for the team tournament at Evo. So yeah, that was the first tournament. I made top 8, and that was the moment I was like, holy shit. I can do this. I can hang with these guys, and that was a magnificent moment, man. It was
nice,
unbelievable,
well deserved.
That's unbelievable
awesome,
moment, man. I couldn't do it, you know, without everybody that's been in my journey. So,
man, that advice from Potter came in.
Yeah, shout out to Potter for that one. Thank you. I still remember that, Potter. And shout out to Duck too.
Bro, that just goes to show that it's the networking was a real game changer for everybody. Mm-hmm. You could practice training mode as much as you want, but without that actual experience or even getting the insight from somebody else's perspective, it makes all the difference.
Right.
Who knows what would have happened in that duck match had Potter not approached you? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Right. It probably wouldn't. I probably would have lost. I didn't know what to do.
Can you imagine for a second how different it would have been had Daniel Deathwish not giving you the insight or reset?
Right.
Yeah.
It would have made
career changing.
Yeah.
Career changing.
It's just like the chain reaction of networking. Like, yeah, it's so crazy. If I didn't have one of those people to get me where I'm at, like that outcome would have been way different. Maybe
you wouldn't be the player you are today.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, everybody has like some type of networking chain, I think. You know,
so then what happens at Evo?
Evo West. Okay. I go to Evo West. It was in San Diego. I went with Dominic because he drove. I got beat pretty bad, but I did beat Pasadena in losers bracket though. Pasadena was playing back then. He wasn't really that good back then. That was when he was big Pasadena. That's when he had a lot of weight on him, but now he's a lot skinnier. Yeah, he was still cool. He's still a cool guy though. And that's when I met Crizzle and Koringo. And at this time, like I sucked against fighting Cable. I had no idea how to beat Cable. Like a good Cable, you know what I mean? Like you can beat Cables, but a good Cable is really annoying.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand. So I'm hanging out with Crizzle and Koringo and those guys, and there was another guy. I think his name was Scrub Killer. I didn't get his original name, like his real name.
I remember that name.
Yeah, Scrub Killer.
I just don't know who
he was part of. I think he was part of the Bay Area NorCal guys. I think so. I think he was. Yeah, I remember those guys. Yeah, they were pretty. They were pretty cool. I remember Crizzle and I had a talk, and we're outside, you know, just having a good time, just conversating about Marvel and stuff like that. And then I was just like, dude, I can't deal with Cable, man. And he's like, what do you mean? He's like, you got to use the box. I'm like, well, what the fuck is the box? What are you talking about? And he's like, you got to use Storm or Magneto. But he taught me the strategy on how to defeat a really good Cable. And ever since then, like, I really started beating Cables a lot more. And you know about the box, right? I call it the box.
Walk us through it.
The box is an area on the top of the screen that Cable cannot reach. So unless he has like Commando or Blackheart or something like that, like if he has Cyclops, good luck. You know, so you're basically going to be utilizing this space to build meter, stay safe, and you're going to, when you come down. So a lot of times when you super jump, you go fierce, dash up, fierce. Now you're in this box area. Cable's up right here, super jump, you're trying to fierce punch, Viper beam, nothing's working. And then you lightning attack, 1, 2, up. And that's how you get the most optimal meter is when you super jump fierce, dash up fierce, and you float in that box, lightning attack left, right, up. By the time you land, you have like 2.5, 3 meters almost. You know, if you started with 1 meter is what I'm saying. So you're going to use that time to stay safe, get your meter. And now here's where the mind games come in. You want to make the Cable jump with you because most of the time they're going to jump with you, try to shoot you down, bring you back down. And they're going to do like, you know, call drones, Tiger Knee, Viper Beam, and then gun. You're going to try to get this pattern going. You want to super jump with them, make them super jump, and then dash down fierce. And that way, Cable doesn't have an air dash. So now he's got to come all the way up and all the way down with a jump.
And now he's forced to take a mix-up.
And now he's forced to take a mix-up. And because of Crizzle, just that little bit of information made me go a long way against cable players.
This is exactly what I'm talking about, man.
That moment right there,
those
I
little tidbits,
appreciated it so much.
And for everybody who's listening, this is stuff that you wouldn't even be able to hear about back then unless you were in somebody's inner circle, or something like that, because tech was just so well guarded back then.
Exactly.
Especially with
that's what I was saying with the
circles. Yeah, tournaments like Evo West, Evo World, or even locals. You didn't want to tell somebody, "Hey, this is how you do this."
Right. You want to wait.
Now we're at the point where, okay, I mean, personally for me, I'm at the point where it's like, all right, I'm comfortable sharing tech now to see if anybody else can take it further. But back then, bro, that information right there,
it's gold, bro.
It's
gold.
It's priceless.
It was so priceless, dude. Like it was, and I don't even know why he kind of helped me out with that. I mean, because like you said, people retained information. I asked him about it too, and he said, like, dude, when I saw you play, I saw crazy potential, and he's like, and you're a killer now. I just asked him this like 2-3 days ago. Yeah, because I wanted to make sure the timeline was in order or whatever, but. He was like, you're a killer. And he's like, I saw the potential in you, man. He's like, and I was right. He's like, you're a beast.
Amazing.
Yeah. Shout out to Crizzle, man. Thank you.
It's fucking awesome.
And Corngo too, bro.
Yeah, Corngo. Dude, those two guys together in a room is so funny. The way they just go back and forth. It's so hilarious.
I've never met Corngo, man. And,
I met him once or twice, Evo West and Evo 7.
Right on.
Yeah.
So then what happened at Evo West?
Oh, I got my ass kicked. Duck saw me and wanted to he challenged me to a money match. But
no.
Yeah, I didn't take it because I was scared. I swear to God, I really was. I didn't take it. Well, that and I didn't have any money, so.
How did that go? He just walked right up to you?
Well, he saw me because I was outside and I was smoking a cigarette, and then he comes up to me. He's like, "You, I want to money match you." And I was like, "Oh no, thank you. I don't have any money. I'm sorry." I was like, "No." I was like, "Dude, it was a 2 out of 3, man. I'm sorry. I love you, Duck."
Oh my God! Wow. Yeah. For him to go out of his way to just come up.
Well,
to
he
you,
was already outside, I think, taking a breather or whatever. He had his big stick podium thing.
Oh yeah.
So
the bulldozer.
Yeah, the bulldozer. I wanted one of those so bad. I still do.
That's probably the first time you actually hear Duck going, "Oh, fucking money match."
Yeah, but he was more polite about it. He was more polite about it.
Duck is super polite, man.
Yeah,
Doug, he is.
Doug, yeah, definitely. Shout outs to Duck. Love you, man.
Yeah. Okay, so
Evo West is done.
Evo West is done. So if I'm not mistaken, because by the time that I had already hit high level, I guess you could say, Evo West was done with.
Yeah, there was no more Evo West.
Like the qualifying tournaments or Evo West East, it was all done with. So what did you have to do to move forward to Evo World?
I think if you qualified at Evo West, like you were kind of like guaranteed like in a bracket for the top 25. So day 2, so you don't have to battle out of pools. Yeah, you didn't have to battle out of pools.
I had no idea.
It was really cool. I thought it was a cool concept, but I mean, obviously money was an issue. I think for Evo at the time to have all these events because I don't think anybody went to Evo South, which was like Texas or whatever, and I think there was a North. I'm not sure. It was like in the middle. I don't know.
Dude, see, I
remember East and West were more dominant.
Yeah, I remember just East and West.
Yeah, I thought there was a North and South at one point, maybe in 2006. I could be wrong.
Okay.
Like I said, my memory is pretty trash. So
right on. So what happens at Evo World?
Evo World,
Las Vegas.
I'm confident. I'm like, this is it. I just wanted to make top 25. I wanted to be on the DVD. I wanted to be on the main stage. I just really wanted it, dude. So I get there. It's 2007. I'm rooming with Dominic, Fanatic, and my cousin because my cousin got more involved in the game, and me and him would play all the time and stuff like that. My cousin Ricky, and so we go to Evo, and it's day 1. We're doing pools. I did really well, and I only stuck to Fat Toy that whole day. I don't know what it was, but
Iron Man Sentinel cable, Sentinel drones, right?
Yeah, drones. Okay. I was only using Team Toy. I don't know why. I just felt super confident with Team Toy that day. I got sent to losers by Golden Nismore, and I made it to the losers finals, losers finals, and I had to play Jamar. Golden Ismore destroyed me. Like I didn't know what the fuck. Dude, his commando is just disgusting at the time. Like he was really good. And his Santhrax with Rocket Punch, I was like, what are these resets? What are you doing? So now he got me good. Never played him again though. And so it's losers finals against Jamar, and I beat him the first game. He beat me the second game, and the third game I caught him with an opener because I was watching him play, and I was downloading his startup patterns, and that's something that I do a lot. I do, like, I try to figure out someone's pattern. Sometimes I'll have like a pen and paper and be like, okay, game 1, down short, game 2, jump, game 3, and I start developing a little pattern. But anyways, so I picked up on his pattern and I caught him with the opener with a down short, and he went for the stand jab, and obviously it missed. And I caught him in the cable, walked him out, and then I dropped the proton cannon, and that was it, dude. He just mauled me after that. I was like, fuck, I was 1 game away from being top 25, and that's when I placed top 50.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. And then at the time, I did a couple money matches. I beat Cable Guy twice.
Okay.
Cable Guy. It was like 2 little $5 money matches, which was like 2 out of 3 or something like that. That was another thing back then. Back then, like, people were very strict on like what kind of set you were playing and how much money was the outcome. Like, nobody would play a first to 5 for $5 back then. It like back then, like, because I remember I played Blazini Flow. Do you remember that guy?
Blazing Flow, yeah.
I call him Blazini Flow. I think I read it wrong. Yeah, I challenged him to a money match, but like I said, I didn't have a job, so I didn't have much money. So I was trying to stretch my dollars worth per money matches, because like I said, I didn't know any of these guys. I want more experience. Saw Blazini Flow, and I was like, hey, would you be willing to do like a $5 money match, like 4 out of 7? He's like, $5? No, 2 out of 3, nothing else for $5. He's like, you want 4 out of 7? It's got to be 20. You know, like, people were very, very strict about that. I think I even saw like a sign on one of the TVs, like, if you want first to 7, has to be 50.
Yeah.
First to 10 was 100. Like,
yeah.
Like, there was like a minimum amount.
That's kind of how it is. Yeah.
Nowadays, people play like first to 20 for $5 or a Happy Meal, whatever. You know, it was really different times back then, bro. It was really different times.
I don't agree with that, by the way.
So I lose, you know, now I'm just enjoying the matches, you know, I'm watching Smooth Viper get rowdy and all this stuff, which he was a big inspiration with his videos for me, like with how hype he got and how much of a savage he was. I was like, dude, this guy's nuts, man. I was like, I want to be like you. Bro. I never met him, never played him, but yeah, he was my inspiration with why I was like, you know, so rowdy and stuff.
Bro, just to interject really quick. So 2007 was a year where we got, I think, the most hype videos from Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yes, and I was there for all of it. It was the good ones.
You had the Dark Prince interview. Mm-hmm. We had Cable Guy with Eric Arroyo. He's fucking dead. He's fucking dead.
Yeah.
You had Justin Wong versus Dark Prince, the low tier matches.
Right.
Oh yeah.
That little snippet where he hits the snapback with Jill, and everybody in the background just goes crazy. Bill Wellman's like, yeah,
fucking explodes, dude.
Man, those were the times.
Jill,
bro.
Ruby, Heart, Ken.
Yeah, those were the times. So what was the outcome then for Evo World? I mean, we know who won, obviously.
Yeah, we know who won. But after that, I just kind of like stuck around, and that's where I met Dorian. Me and Dorian were watching the matches on chairs, standing up, just like looking over all the way in the back. You know, he was really cool.
Oh, okay.
Met Dorian, a lot of people and stuff like that. And the next day, I believe it was, or I can't remember if it was the first day, but there was a team tournament. And it was me, Fnatic, and some random person.
Well, hang on, Ivan. Where were you? Where were you during all this?
So actually, I ended up, like I said, when I had started out, I was just like a little kid, dude, and we were doing like FFA at the time. But I wasn't playing like top players. I didn't get to travel as much because, honestly, guys, like, for my backstory, like, even during high school, I was actually going to university, and
oh yeah, there was that,
and there's just no way for me to like travel and be able to like play other players. So I would actually frequent Alex's arcade at the time, in Santa Ana. So that's where a lot of my kind of like my experience with top level players started happening. And funny enough, that's actually where I met Ray. And a bunch of the other heads that were there as well. I didn't actually meet you, Ken, until I would say
like 2011, 2012, something like that.
Yeah, I would say 2011. Yeah, and it wasn't until I think Ray had introduced me to you.
Yeah. Well, when was your first Evo?
My first Evo was.
Have you been there?
No, yeah. Definitely. I'm trying to remember what year it was. I think it was 2010, to be honest with you.
Oh,
when I had gone. Yeah. But like I said, the players there were just a completely different caliber from the experience that I was getting. So I was already practicing like on Dreamcast, but it wasn't up until like when the whole PSN shit started popping off in 2009, where I really got to like kind of have more experience with players that were just a better player. and different matchups and all sorts of like shenanigans and gimmicks and learning how to fight cable. Even now it's just stupid.
It could be a struggle.
One frame jump.
It's, you know what, it's kind of crazy to put a timestamp like on where we were at certain times. Like like Ray in 05, he had already accomplished, dude, you had already accomplished so much more than I had at that point. Like I was just barely blooming, you know, and barely getting used to the world outside of just my local arcade. Yeah. And for somebody like you were, like, your first Evo was 2010. My first Evo was 2011. You know, I had only heard of these tournaments, and I hadn't experienced them yet. Yeah. So it was, it's crazy, man. It's crazy to compare timelines.
Absolutely. One of the first videos that I remember, this was back in 2003, 2004. But one of the very first videos that really inspired me to become a better player was when I saw Sue Mighty against Justin Wong. You know, that infamous match. Oh, yeah. Where he's like snapping Sentinel like 4 times in one combo in the corner. Oh, yeah, that was so cool. So when I saw that, I was like, this is incredible. This is amazing. Like, exactly.
I love the sound effects. I love this game. I do.
And the crowd was just going
nothing like it.
Yeah, it was insane. Dude, like when you hear that,
did the goosebumps?
Just I got goosebumps when I would see that. I was like, dude, I want to be like Sue. And so Sue was actually very inspiring for me as a player.
Same, me too.
When I was growing up, and like I said, just delving more into the top tier meta. Definitely was picking more MSP. Once I learned about Thrax and I knew about like the America's favorite DHC, basically, and killing off one character just right off of the bat, I knew that was a team that I wanted to like actually play and master. So, yeah. But anyway, go ahead.
Going back to Ray. Okay, so are we done with 07 at this point?
No, there's more in 07. There's more. You're gonna find out. The 07 is.
I know that this was a big turning point, right?
Yeah,
from what I remember. So I'm interested to know what happened.
As in what? What do you mean?
Well, no, you said something big. I remember you telling me that something big happened.
Oh, yeah. So, so backpedal a little bit to Cal Poly Pomona. The person running the bracket was Mega Man DS. At least that's who I was reporting to, who I saw, who didn't believe me that I beat Duck. Who had to go ask 20 people to confirm that I beat Duck, even though I had many witnesses say, even Potter was like, yeah, you beat him. So, Evo West happens. I meet Crystal and Koringo, and then, you know, Evo happens. I place top 50, hang out with Crystal and Koringo again. I even got to meet up with Chris Schmidt on the final day before his finals. That was really cool. We got to hang out together, and he got to give me some advice, and I appreciate him for that, so thank you. And so after Evo's done, man, I finally got my license. I got my first truck, Ford Ranger 88. Ford Ranger.
Ford Ranger, man.
And that's something we have in common.
Oh yeah, the Ford Ranger.
We both have Ford Rangers, yes.
That's right, dude.
So
built for tough.
Right. So I got my Ford Ranger, man. Just chew tobacco, spitting that motherfucker, dude. I was so excited, dude. I was just fucking yeeting all the way to damn arcades all over the place. I loved it.
If you guys didn't know, Ray's a big country fan.
Yeah, sir. Get it done.
So then what happened?
It was a great bang.
So I started traveling. I started going to like Camelot and just driving any arcade. I didn't care. I just wanted to go.
Nice.
So it's driving to more casuals. Like every weekend, if I saw someone at SRK like, oh, arcade day on a Tuesday, I'm fucking there. I didn't care. You know, because I had freedom. I was like, yes. My first, like the day my license came in the mail, dude, I jumped on the freeway and I never driven on the freeway before. I didn't care. I was like, I'm going to Camelot. And then I was like hanging with Clockwork and stuff at casuals, and I was doing like unflies on him. And he was like, don't do that. I can't do those, man. I don't want to see that. And I was like, I'm sorry, dude, but you make me block forever, you know? So that was a vivid memory.
You make me block forever.
Yeah. So at this point, I have my first job, my first license, my first truck. And I remember I was working at Knott's Berry Farm, and it was
I remember that.
Yeah, dude, I was working at Knott's Berry Farm. It was so fun. So working at Knott's Berry Farm, and one night, Dark Prince called me up, and he said, "Hey, there's an FFA tournament at this time. Can you make it?" And I was like, "Dude, I just got off work. It's gonna take me like an hour and 45 minutes, almost 2 hours to get there." Because I live in Orange County, so you do the math. That's far.
For perspective, it's
far.
It's Orange County to Granada Hills.
It is really far, at least for Orange County people. Anyways,
yep.
So this is where my hatred for FFA began.
Oof.
Anybody that was involved with FFA, you were part of FFA, you were a casual there. I don't even care if you were a worker and you parked in that parking lot. You don't even go to FFA. I hated you. I hated it.
Where did this come from?
Because of what happened to me that night. That Dark Prince told me to go to that
Here
tournament.
we go. Let's hear it.
So I get there, right? I told him, like, hey, I can't get there until this time, so on, so on. He said, okay, cool. I'll pay for your entry. We'll put you at the bottom of the bracket. So when you get here, you're just going to have to play a lot. And I was like, okay. So I get there, and I was playing nonstop. I won about 5 matches, and then there was, like, the killers weren't there. Like Sue and Finesse weren't there. I think, like, Iron Alon was, like, the best player there right now. Like, at that tournament. That specific tournament. Like, Sue wasn't there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't even think Neo was a thing at the time, right?
No, not at all.
So Iron Alon was probably, like, their best player, but they had, like, the regulars go, and they were in the tournament. I played 5 matches, and it was me and Iron Alon in winners finals.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It was me and Iron Alon in winners finals. He beat me 2 games. I beat him 2 games, and I had MSP. And the final game, because it was 3 out of 5, he destroyed me. Like, but all I had was a Psylocke left.
Okay.
Half a Psylocke. He had half Iron Man, full Cable, full Doom, and I just landed snapback after snapback, and I turned it into a 1v1 between me, Psylocke, versus Iron Man. After he lost, I made a comeback. People couldn't believe it. And what happened?
Another clutch comeback.
Yeah, I told you. I was so inspired by the Spartans in the movie. Like, I was like, I'm not giving up. I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm going to play. Iron Alon kind of, like, walked away, was complaining. Like, I don't know what he said. He said something under his breath. And then, like, a couple minutes later, Mega Man DS comes up to me because he's running the bracket. He comes up to me and he says, well, I hate to tell you this, but because you took too long to show up, you ruined the bracket. So
What do you mean?
I was like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, you took too long. Now the bracket's kind of ruined. Everything's off place. So what we have to do, we're just going to give you your money back. We're sorry. And I was like, what the fuck do you mean? Like, I drove this far. You guys held the bracket. I played 5 matches, and you're kicking me out because I beat Iron Alon. So I was so salty. I never wanted to go back to FFA. And that's the reason why I gave him that name, Fat Fucking Animals. I don't give a fuck.
You know,
Grimy motherfucker.
Tell him how you feel. Tell him how you feel.
I just felt that way at that time.
Bro, I remember you telling me that nickname, and it's every time you say it, it still makes me laugh like it's the first time.
I mean, just you know,
tell him how you really
you
feel.
know
Right?
what,
I'm
though?
zen now.
You're not the only one though. I've had my own experiences with those
Like that?
guys over there. It's at least one time with a bracket that seemed a little suspicious, but I can see, I can relate to where you're coming from.
Yeah.
with that.
So that was like my first experience. I was just like, why would they do that? Like, what? I was just naive. I was just a kid, you know, like, who wanted to compete at these things, and I thought everyone was honest and wanted to compete because of the way I was raised and stuff like that. You know, you get what you work for, and I felt like I was cheated out of what I worked for, and that really made me mad.
Yeah.
Like, I'm over it now, obviously, you know, it was years ago, but
It's
fuck
still
FFA.
it's still
I hate that arcade. Buttons never worked anyways.
At Chaos Theory, we keep it 100.
Yep,
Yes,
keep it
sir.
100.
So then, what happened afterwards? Then, so the tournament
yeah.
tournament runs without you. Did you
Yeah.
stick around, or did you
No,
bounce?
I left.
You bounced,
I took
yeah.
my money. I left, and
I
it was
would
the
too.
saddest drive home. Like, I was so upset. I was like, I worked really hard for that. Like, why would they do that? And I never understood that. So ever since then, I never really liked Mega Man or Iron Alon or anybody with FFA. If you were part of FFA, I didn't like you. Like, that's just the way I associated it with. But now I can, you know, associate that.
It's whatever.
Yeah, it's whatever. It's not really the same thing.
Okay.
So just don't trust Mega Man with a bracket.
We'll keep that in mind.
Yeah. That's why I said, going back to Cal Poly, there was a trend.
Yeah.
He was running that bracket. He's running that bracket. You know? I don't know what his problem was.
Nice.
So after that, I drove home. Things started shifting. The circle that I was training with, like Daniel and all them, like, we all started spreading out.
Interesting.
Yeah, Daniel was becoming a dad, and then Ricardo fell through some really hard times. I really don't know what happened to him. He became like schizophrenic, and it was really bad.
Wow.
Herman went to pharmacy school, never talked to him again. Don't know where he went. Don't have his number. He changed his number. Remember that? Remember?
I'm gonna do Origins Part 2 for myself. I don't know if it's gonna be episode 3 or episode 4, but he ties into that part, so I'll talk more about it when we get into that. But I do have some info on him, we'll tap into that when we get to it.
Yeah, another time. So at this point, my circle's like depleting. All I have left is Reset. And at that time, Reset and I kind of, you know, we had different interests in life, and we kind of went our own ways. Even though like we were still on the same page with Marvel, but as far as like friendship and the outside world, like our interests just weren't aligning, you know?
Okay.
You know, so it's like I just wasn't my thing. So
yeah,
you know, we grow apart. That's what happens. We grow and whatnot. And then, you know, I got dealt a shitty hand after that. So after seeing all this drama throughout the year, you know, with FFA and then my friends, you know, going through this, I don't have anyone to play with, you know, starting over again, finding new people to play with. And then I got dealt a shitty hand, and
you had some personal stuff going on outside of the game.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is early 08?
Yeah, this is like like late 07,
Okay.
08. That's yeah.
Because I remember I stopped seeing you completely.
Yeah, I didn't come back till like 2011.
Yeah. So 2008, nothing happened.
The only time I was able to play was when Xbox Live came out. I think it was 2008. I tried Xbox Live.
2009, I think.
Was it 2009? I thought it was 2008.
Okay, so 2008, the only thing that I remember from you was when you went to Regency one
yeah,
time.
you were telling me about that, but honestly, I didn't remember it. So
just so everybody kind of could... if you've been following my timeline, by the time mid-2008 came around, I was already at Regency. I already had some experience under my belt, and I hadn't seen Ray in a long time. So one of the things that I would enjoy was testing myself against players that I hadn't seen in a very long time. And I remember one time I went to Regency Fun Center, and I walked in, and there was a guy that was streaking on the cabinet, and he was, dude, it was like
he was trying to use the other stick, huh?
It was like Kylo Ren. This guy had a tattered hoodie, like he was just like who the hell is this guy? And then I looked, I looked over as I was putting my quarter in, and it was Ray. And I thought, oh my God, I don't know if he didn't recognize me or whatnot, but we didn't say anything to each other.
That's funny how that works.
And I bumped him off the sticks.
By luck. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I remember I beat you, and I thought, okay, so we're kind of onto something here.
Mm-hmm.
And then you left.
I think, yeah.
I don't know if you had been there for a while. Maybe you're just tired, just like, all right,
honestly, it's kind of like a vague memory, because I honestly didn't remember it until you brought it up. So I think you were the first person to beat me, and after that, I just left.
Yeah, so you took off, and then I didn't see you until, I don't know,
2011.
2011.
That's when I came back, yeah.
So it was one of those, there's a lot of people that I've met that just disappeared off the face of the earth. Like I didn't think I was going to see you again after that. I just remember we had that one match, and that was it.
I never thought I was coming back. Never thought I was coming back, yeah. So it was really hard.
So 2009, nothing.
Just Xbox Live, which I was going for #1 ranked winner.
Oh God!
Which I did get. I grinded like almost like 48 hours straight, just ranked match, and I was #1. And I beat somebody who was really butthurt because he hacked my shit. The rank, every time I won, I would drop rank, and I was like number like 700,000. I'm like, there's not even that many players who play this. What the fuck?
Oh man.
So you're just playing online, 2009, 2010.
For a little bit, yeah. That was it. That was the only way I could get the fix.
Wow, really? You had no desire to...
It's not that I didn't have desire. It was just I was in a different situation in life at that time. So
I see. For
a lot of people that don't know what I went through, I had a daughter, and she's no longer in the picture anymore because, I was doing my responsibility, and with my circles depleting and all that shit, and had no one to play with, I didn't feel like starting over. And then now my girlfriend was pregnant and whatnot. So, but in the end of it, around 2011, it got really bad. A little personal, my personal story. It got pretty bad to where we went to court, and that's when I found out like I wasn't the dad, and that really fucking hurt me. So like I was devastated. I was lost. I felt so lost, and the only thing I knew that would really help me throughout that time was Marvel. Came back.
As shitty of a situation as that was, I think that the fact that you had the game available at home without having to actually leave to go anywhere and see anybody and interact and all that,
that helped.
For a lot of people, I think that was the fix that they needed.
Definitely.
Just to play different people at home. I'm going to get into that when I do episode 2 for my origins.
Yeah.
But at the very least, you had that to fall back on.
Yeah, definitely. I had something. It was something, but it wasn't like I had a bunch of time to do it anyways, because like I was working like 2 jobs at the time, like because that's the way my dad raised me. You know, like if you have kids, you know, you gotta get your shit together and fucking take care of them. That's the way you got to do. You know.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. Marvel was no longer a priority for me. I felt like I did pretty good in 2007, but I felt like I was cheated to see where I was actually supposed to be.
Yeah.
And that's why when I came back in 2011, like I was salty, dude. Like I was annoyed that I gave up so much time in my life. You know, that wasn't even deserved to be taken from me. So I felt like I was cheated out of like some type of potential spot or
for sure, man.
or some type of rank or
Absolutely.
or you know, because I was kind of playing like in the prime of Marvel.
Yeah. If you consider the fact that 2009, 2010 were the last two Evos where Marvel was on the actual Evo lineup, you could have done some serious damage.
Exactly. And I felt like I was cheated out of that. And that's why, like, when I came back in 2011, I was really angry. I was angry at the world, bro. I was so mad. And honestly, like, I wasn't even planning on sharing this story, but honestly, like, I'm putting it out there because I was alone at the time. So I had no one, like, I felt like this was an uncommon thing, but I'm finding out that it's more common. So
absolutely. And what you're sharing right now, even though it's very personal, I'm sure a lot of people can relate in some way.
Yeah. So
not that particular situation, but just the feeling of being alone or feeling cheated out of what could have been, the potential that you could have hit.
Exactly.
You can apply it to all sorts of aspects of life, like
course.
work, personal growth, things like that. I am happy that you came back.
I am too. I was very jealous of you when I came back, though. I fucking hated you, dude. I fucking hated you, man.
This is where it starts.
This is where the beef between me and Ken started. I come back because he used to come to my house, and I was like, man, this guy don't know what the fuck he's doing. And I was like, how's he beating everybody? He's putting videos on SRK. This guy thinks he's good. You know, I was like, man, I'm gonna go show him at Regency. Man, he didn't even spit. Dude. He just gave me all friction, dude. I was like, no. So I was very jealous because, you know, it was jealousy. That's all it was. Very envious.
Well, Evo 2011 was my first Evo. That's when I faced Cable Guy. I faced Chunks to
that's right.
Reset
you did.
and all that. And when you came, I remember seeing you at Evo and we talked for a little bit.
Yeah.
But you weren't really playing. You were just more.
No, I was using a lot of 2011 time because didn't Marvel 3 come out in 2011? Right?
2010, I think.
2010?
Yeah, I would say 2010.
Oh, wow. I thought it was 2011. Oh, well. So, like, there wasn't really tournaments or anything going on for Marvel 2 because everybody was so caught up with, you know, Marvel 3 and whatnot. And so it was just, I was using that year to just play casuals and, you know, see who was still around and just shake off rust. You know, I didn't really start getting more confident until 2012. Like, I shook off the rust, and now I'm 2007, but better. And I'm like, oh, yeah, it's time.
It's true.
Yeah.
Bro, you came back, and as soon as you had adjusted to the way the meta had shifted a little bit, you were just kicking ass. Like you never left. I remember you and I would exchange tournaments.
Oh my god,
sets
dude,
and stuff like that.
That was
like,
fun.
dude, Ray and I would bump heads, not just in the game, but outside of it too.
Yeah, like, outside of it too.
Yeah, and I'll share a story, dude. I'll share a story.
Oh, go ahead. I probably forgot it already.
Like in 2012, it must have been like 2011 or 2012. I remember there was a tournament at FFA.
Oh god.
And we had to play on the FFA sticks.
Well, that was all that was left. That's the only reason why I went. Like, there wasn't any tournament, like any arcade doing tournament. FFA was like the last one.
I don't know if it was like winners finals or grand finals, but I remember it was you and I, and Ray and I got into an argument over.
Did we?
Over who's going to be player 1, who's going to be player 2. So
I think we flipped the coin on it.
We flipped the coin.
Yeah.
And then we argued about that.
No, let it hit the floor. Let it hit the floor. You're feeling the texture for the flip.
Dude, it was exactly so petty. We were so competitive that it was that petty. It was no, don't catch the coin. You're gonna let it hit the floor.
Yeah.
Well, and I'd be like, well, what does it matter?
Well, because you can feel the friction. You can feel the friction. The smoother side is a heads, and the rougher side is tails. So if you flip it and you catch it, you rub it like this. You know it's face down.
That's what he said.
That's why I was like, no, let it hit the floor. I don't trust you.
So what ended up happening was I ended up getting the player 1 side. And Ray being the opportunist waited to see what team I was gonna pick.
Oh yeah.
He's waiting at the characters.
Oh yeah.
So he's just moving his characters and he's talking to whoever's like on the right.
Yeah. I'm looking at my
what's up, man? What's up? But he's just looking at the screen through his peripherals. And back then I only picked one team. It was like, dude, you know I'm gonna pick MSS. I don't have a Santhrax. I don't have anything else.
Yeah.
So I pick MSS. So what does he pick?
MSP.
MSP.
That's right.
MSP, and it was a long set. I still remember winning that set, and after,
it wasn't easy.
It wasn't easy. Yeah, no.
I'm just kidding. I'm just adding these
no, by no means.
I'm just adding these little things as jokes. To be honest.
But it was so competitive that after the match, I remember Race made a comment, and he said, "Yeah, because Crybaby over here needed a player one." So. And I was like, well, I mean, you know, you say what you got to say. You know what I'm saying? But that's how it was.
I was saying it with my chest. I didn't care.
Yeah, if you took a loss, dude, it was salty, man. I would get salty if I would lose.
So salty.
That's how competitive we got. But I do remember, you know, I went to go get a snack or something to drink or something like that, and Ray came up and he said, "Hey, man, sorry about that. I just get hype and I don't know what else."
Yeah.
Like, dude, you didn't have to do that.
But that's just who I am.
Yeah, you didn't have to do that. It's just in the moment, you're kind of like,
let it flow through.
Especially when you're using equipment that you're not
adjusted to and used to. Yeah.
Yeah, that's always why Dreamcast has been the superior choice for tournaments or money matches, because you bring your own shit, you bring your own equipment, and if you lose, you have no excuses.
Yep, it's your shit. You should have fixed it.
Yep. That's it. Yeah,
you should have practiced.
But Ray and we would do that, and we would have matches, and and we would go back and forth, and he would call me a masher and say, "Man, why are you mashing, bro?"
Yeah, God, man, block like a man, bro. I swear to God.
I'm like, dude, and I'm over here like, dude, why can't we just have like an honorable set, you know, between two great competitors?
Oh, shut up.
But you can't hit the next level unless you have somebody to test your skill against. Like they say, steel sharpens steel, right?
Yeah.
So Ray was one of those guys that had the same hunger and the same desire to better themselves. And dude, I was very fortunate. I was very fortunate to have somebody like him, because everybody else had moved on to Marvel 3.
Yeah, I know. Marvel 3
or Street Fighter 4 or Cross Tekken or whatever, you know, all these other games. And he stayed with it, man.
Yeah,
he beat me in tournaments. He beat me in like first to 3 for 5 or whatever. Like he would beat me every so often. So
yeah, every now and then. It
was just
that's awesome.
So that we could continue improving, dude. I mean, what are we gonna do? Eventually, I did like how we kind of set all that aside.
That was 2013.
2013 is where it changed.
That was
now.
Yeah, we became the shake and bake of NASCAR, baby. Yeah, the dynamic duo. You know what I mean? Block or bleed, baby.
2013, yeah, block or bleed became a thing, and Ray and I ended up teaming up to take on all comers.
Definitely.
It was great, man.
It was
so
great.
much tech that we exchanged and used to kind of better ourselves.
Yeah, I think when that happened, you definitely pushed me to like my strongest form that I ever hit. Like even beyond 2007, beyond 2012, because 2012 was like when I felt confident to start money matching some big names. But once we teamed up 2013, like because that around that time there was like the geriatric warfare's Super Arcade tournaments. Remember they were starting to come back.
2000,
that was when
2013.
That was when me and Servbot were kind of bumping heads, and that's where it started a little bit.
I can't believe it's been that long already.
It's been that long,
Holy
dude.
shit.
Yeah, so that was when like they started catching traction. Like people were like, "Oh, Marvel 2." I think they were just kind of over Marvel 3. They're like, you know, "Oh, let's just go back to Marvel 2." You know, at least some more people were coming back. I think that's when Duck started coming back. It was like 2012, 2013.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah,
Duck
came back
because Duck came back, and then he started going to the Super Arcade tournaments. Bill Woman started coming back. Yeah, and I think Clockwork came back for just a little bit, you know, for the Super Arcade tournaments. But he's mainly doing his other newer games. So yeah, that around I feel like 2012, 13, and 14 were probably like my best times, like my strongest forms.
During that time, we were kind of cementing ourselves as the top guys.
Yeah.
It was in the local scene, at least. It was either you or it was me.
Yeah, the only way I was winning is if you weren't there. There were some times I was beating you.
There were some times.
There were some times, but like if you weren't there, it was like almost guaranteed I was gonna win at that time.
Absolutely,
I was like,
absolutely, bro. That's just how it was.
That's how it was, man.
It was the pecking order.
Yeah, that's what it was.
2013 when we went to Evo. That was the first time that we had gone to Evo together.
The circus,
right? Yeah. You didn't need a CRT. They already had them in the room.
Holy shit! I forgot about that.
I want to know, what was it like watching the match with me and Sanford?
It was hilarious.
In the room. Well, what was? I mean, obviously, I know what happened because I was playing. But what did it look like from your end?
From my end, I was worried for a second for you. Because you were getting caught up with what the fucking what Fnatic and the other people were saying, and you were kind of like talking while you were playing, like trying to talk back to Fnatic. I even told you, I was like, dude, just shut up and play.
Yeah,
shut up and play.
Yeah, I do remember.
I didn't want you getting distracted, because if you lost that day, you were never going to hear the end of it. You were never going to hear the end of it. And I was like, dude, just shut up and play. Like, just play. Like, just let him talk. Let him talk. Who cares? Let fucking World run his mouth to Fnatic.
Dude, whatever. World was this close to cracking Fnatic.
Yeah, he was.
He was about to crack him, but luckily nothing popped off.
Yeah, until the second set.
Yeah. So there's a first to 10 that's uploaded on YouTube between Sanford and I. A lot of people don't know that Sanford and I were right in the middle of a second set, a second first to 10, and this one was a lot closer in score. Sanford was.
It was like what, 4-6 or something?
It
at
was
the time?
like it was like 6-4. Yeah. Sanford, I was still up.
Yeah, you were still up.
But Sanford was making a point to adjust.
Yeah.
He was on a second win, and I was already kind of like,
as any great player would.
Yeah, dude, because we were burnt out all day. I remember that. We were fucking tired.
And Daryl,
we almost went to bed.
Yeah, Daryl just kept talking and popping off and stuff like that. And the whole set ended abruptly because Sanford got up and told Daryl, "Hey man, if you keep running your mouth, I'm gonna crack you in the fucking face."
Yeah.
And Daryl was like, "Well, do it."
You know,
the alcohol's flowing, and Daryl's like, "Do it." And we had to separate them. Sanford ended up throwing a trash can across the room that missed my head by like.
It was like
2
RKO,
inches.
watch out! Whoa! I fucking ducked.
It was like bullet time. It just whooshed right past me, like.
Oh wow,
dude, it was so crazy.
And unfortunately, we didn't get to finish that second set.
Yeah, we don't know the outcome. And for the new people coming in and hearing like these dramatic stories and. And the grimy situations, like don't think it's like that anymore. Because honestly, it's definitely more watered down now. Would you say like a lot nicer nowadays?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I feel like everyone's more friendly nowadays with information.
It goes to what I said the last episode, is that nobody cares about rankings anymore.
No one doesn't.
It's just you play for a good time, and that's it. That's why I'm at the point where I'm comfortable sharing like my tech online. Yeah. Tutorials and stuff like that.
All the tutorials you're doing, which are really nice. I like the editing.
It's not so much about pride anymore, but people.
It's still. I think for me, sometimes it's about pride a little bit. I don't know. Sometimes it gets the best of me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're just naturally competitive people.
Yeah.
So it's what's gonna happen. Yeah.
Ray, I think honestly we're gonna have to do a part 2 for you.
I was just about to ask you that because I still got a lot more to say.
You have a lot more.
And
I got more from 2011, 12, 13, and 14.
For those of you listening, this is exactly why we're doing these episodes, because there's just so much to cover.
Yeah.
We're going to get Ray back on here
definitely
to continue, because we haven't even touched the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah. Yep. Now we're going to get more into like
the meat and potatoes on this. I did want to cover a few things before we kind of wrap it up.
Of course.
I'm starting a segment now called the Run Back.
Okay.
So for this part of the show, I just want to ask, is there any particular set or money match that you never got to rectify or correct, and that you wish you could take care of today? Anybody that you've lost to in tournament, any money match, any set?
Yeah.
Is there anybody that you wish you could just get on the sticks and destroy with what you know now?
I feel like I got unfinished business with G-Con.
Is that right?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, that would be so hype, man.
That would be.
Definitely.
You know what? That would be a good set, man.
Hype.
I would be down.
And Neo.
Is that right?
Oh,
I've never had I never sat down and have like a really good set with Neo, like a first to 10.
Yeah.
It was always like 3 to 5, 4 to 7. But
right on.
But those 2 players, like if I was to ever come back.
Oh, dude, I'd pay the $5 in Patreon just for
Oh
that.
my god! But yeah, definitely G-Con.
I would put up money for both of those.
Beautiful, man.
I think G-Con and
Neo versus Spartan.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that we have that out of the way, the community did have some questions that they submitted that I want to ask, and see if you can give some quick answers.
Yeah, of course.
So I do have Hilton Canhigh from the Facebook group is asking, are you Suck My MvC2 on PSN?
No, I don't touch PSN anymore. It's more of like a paperweight now. I don't even use it. You want it, by the way? You can have it. I'm dead serious.
Yeah,
you
PSN
guys can have
garbage. Okay, so now that we have that out of the way, No Channel, LOL from YouTube. He's one of my greatest supporters. Shout outs to that guy.
Okay.
He made a comment. He said Spartan is one of the best jack of all trades of Marvel. Question for Spartan: what player do you hate losing to the most?
Player, like specific player?
Yeah. What player have you taken L's from that you just can't stand it?
It's a tough one. Probably, fuck, dude, that's a tough one, man. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I can really
We'll come back to it.
Yeah, let's come back to that one because honestly, like, I'm trying to think back, and is this overall or is this
overall,
now?
dude? Overall, yeah.
Okay. All right, let's come back to that one.
Okay,
That's too much to that one.
All right, motivational GM from YouTube asks, "What is the best reset that you can think of that you've landed on a top player?"
Oh, that's a
The
good
best
one.
reset that I could think of?
Yeah, that you've landed.
Oh, MSS drones, baby. Here we go. MSS drones. I think it was like in 07 when I found I don't, I'm not gonna say I claimed it like it's my reset, but it was something that, like, I was dabbling with, and I was like, oh shit, this is pretty cool. It was when you slide down heavy kick with Magneto, call drones, super jump, tri-dash down straight, roundhouse, land, let the roll animation hit, dash with the rolling body, and you want to mix up between, like, you're gonna hit in front or behind with a down short and have drones follow it to punish them. Punish him with that.
Right.
5 feet stay ass.
Beautiful.
Oh, so beautiful.
Oh, I love it.
And I love hard knockdowns. I love hard knockdowns over like soft resets. I think that's what I would call it. Right.
I agree completely.
Yeah. Because you got players that just mash jab. I've always hated low tier players.
That's something I've always loved about, like,
always hated low tier players, dude.
Shout outs to Video.
Yeah, shout outs to him. He's probably like the only one that could really pull it off. And Justin Wong, obviously, but
All right, K West for Life from YouTube is asking, how long did it take for you to get used to moving from controller to arcade? I don't think you got started, but I don't think you got started on pad, right?
I did start on
did
pad.
you?
Dreamcast
Okay.
pad. Dreamcast pad and PS2 pad, because that's all I had.
Okay.
You know what? It was really hard to transition because I was so comfortable on the D-pad. I was like, I don't want to switch. Like, I'm comfortable here, but you can't bring your arcade. You can't bring your controller to plug into the arcade machine. So it's like, what the fuck? So I had to force myself to get out of that comfort zone. It took me about like, I want to say maybe like 8-9 months, maybe to a year.
It takes time. Yeah, I agree with you completely.
Yeah, like relearning everything that I learned on pad. Like, I'm not doing flight mode with my thumbs anymore. I'm doing it with a stick.
Yeah.
And then I've already been going all the way up, and then back then, like, I was doing the slide, and then I learned the claw from Reset in 2007.
Ooh,
yeah.
He taught me. Touched up on that.
He taught me the claw, dude. I used to slide, but then I stopped doing the slide because if you do it too fast with Storm, you get a lightning attack, fucks you up. Use the claw, baby.
Very true. All right, and then finally, just a general question: do you have now that the game is more accessible than ever? A big problem was that the license had run out for Xbox and for PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
Now with the ability to do Fightcade as well as Null DC, now it's accessible to anybody who has the proper equipment. Do you have any advice for the newer generation that's picking up the game?
Yeah. Don't stress yourself out. This is an extremely hard learning curve. I think people nowadays have more access to information, so they would definitely learn faster at a faster rate than we did, I think.
Absolutely.
Oh, for sure.
Because of how helpful it is. Yeah. So just because you're hearing me say, like, I started competitively in 04 and I didn't really do well in 07, that's 3 fucking years. I guarantee with the information that we have now, you'll probably see that progress in a year, maybe even 2 or a year and a half. Just really depends how hungry you are. You got to know what you're going for. If you just want to have fun, learn some casuals or some low tiers, go ahead, man, have some fun. Because when I started, it was just low tiers, and look where I'm at now.
Yeah. I agree completely.
And I'm sorry to say, but you're not going to get better overnight in Marvel.
Yeah, this is not an overnight thing.
Or in a month.
This is not just a simple flowchart game. No. Yeah. Like, he throws a Dugan, I jump heavy kick or something. This is not that simple.
That's so very true.
Guys, with that said, we're going to kind of wrap things up here. Before we do that, though, I'm going to bring Spartan back since we weren't able to condense everything into 2 hours.
Yeah, sorry.
We're going to bring him back because he has a lot more to say, a lot more stories. Some of it is going to cause some waves and some ripples.
Oh, yeah.
In the community when
you got your life jackets on, boys.
And I love it.
Yeah. Do you have anything, Ray, that you want to leave to the audience to kind of give them a heads up for what's coming next?
You're basically just going to hear my growth between, coming back from 2011, like why I mean, you obviously know why that big gap from 2007, 2011 took place. But when I came back, I was very angry and I was trolling a lot. I was like a big savage. And you're going to hear more about like my growth as a person, what happened in 2011, 2012, like all my big money matches that I sat down and played big names. That was like when I first money matched Wes. Like I was like, I got the balls to take on some big names, you know, and you're going to hear more about that and the rematch between me and Bill Wellman in 2012.
Oh yes.
You know, there's more matches. You know, I'll definitely bring up the serve bot stuff. I know everybody wants to hear that beef.
That's juicy, man.
Everybody wants to hear what happened and all that stuff. I mean, we squashed it now after that last money match.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah.
There's no hate or hard feelings now.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
That's
just
cool,
gonna be
man.
like where I'm at now, what I've progressed into, and more detail of what I was thinking and feeling at those times.
Awesome.
Right on, brother.
Yeah, man. We can't wait to have you back.
Yeah,
You'll be
thank you
back.
guys. Thank you guys for having me on the show. Honestly, I
Yeah.
like the setup. This place is nice.
Of course, man.
So
of course.
sick, dude. You're gonna be like the next Rogan.
Yeah, right.
Shout out to Joe Rogan.
Yeah, Joe Rogan. baby.
JRE.
Hey guys, so with that being said, we're going to kind of wrap things up here. I do appreciate you all tuning in. Hopefully this gave you a little bit more insight on Ray as a person, not just a player.
Yeah.
And remember, every player has their own backstory. We've all gone through the trials and tribulations of learning the game.
Mm-hmm.
And to be able to do it with personal issues or anything that may have hit us along the way, it's all the more admirable, man. The fact that all of it played a part into the people that we are today.
Absolutely.
I love you, brother.
I love you
Appreciate
too,
you
man.
having on here. And I can't
You too,
wait.
Ivan. Love you.
You're the best.
Can't wait
man.
to have you back, man.
Dude, I'll be
Love
back.
you, Ray.
Yeah, definitely be back anytime you
Yeah.
guys want me to.
All right, guys. So just make sure that you like, share, subscribe, send it to everybody.
Yep. Here we go.
And I have a lot more content coming your way, a lot more videos. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying the whole corn go bit, the flying screen tutorial, all that stuff. I have a lot more stuff on the way. So just stay tuned,
Definitely.
and we'll see you when we see you. Take care, guys.
Peace.
Later, everybody.